All right, all right. Hey, guys. All right. So before I jump into this, we are going to, well, I should mention, we're going to do each zodiac, a little peek at what comes in the month of September. But before I do that, I wanted to mention that I think it would be fun. So I turned on comments. Um, it would be fun for us to do something a little bit special. On September the 1st, I'm going to review the comments and I'm going to randomly select 9 winners and do a storytelling for those 9 winners. And that'll happen on September the 1st. That is because, September is the 9th month, and today I happen to turn 45, so there's another 9. And I'm like, let's do this. Now, the thing is, in order to enter, I kind of feel like it'd be really nice to get some good positive vibes in the comments. And I feel like people do amazing things all the time. And on this channel, I wanted to go ahead and ask you guys to enter to win. Tell me something that you've done that was kind for somebody else. On the other channel, on Tarot Dog, I said, mention to me something that you've either seen another person do, or that someone has done for you. And on this channel, I thought, let's go ahead and something that you've done that's kind, because I guarantee you every single one of you out there has done something lovely. Maybe it's something small, maybe it's something you never even told somebody else that you did for them. But I just think it's really important, especially right now, to remember that there's so much kindness in the world. There are good people everywhere doing beautiful things. And so, if you want to say in code, that's fine. but that's your entry for Monday's drawing. And so it's open to everybody, whether you're a subscriber, a member, or not. I don't care. I just really wanted to get some good vibes in the comments. And I also kind of wanted people to get a chance to appreciate you guys are awesome. Thank you for everything you guys do to make my life better. I feel really, really lucky that in the years I've had this channel, you guys have just made such an amazing community. And I genuinely mean that. One thing I do want to mention that, I usually only keep comments on in my members corner. I don't usually have it on the channel, and that is because there are so many scammers here. I'm talking about great people, and then I'm also saying, but we also know that there's scammers and bots. And so please remember, now that I'm turning on the comments and that I'm going to do this drawing and do storytellings for people, please just remember, I will never ask you for money. I do not sell you anything. I'm never going to give you phone numbers to contact. Please know there will probably be scammers and stuff that pop up. Don't listen to all those comments that you're going to read about like, oh, I read this amazing book that helped me to manifest stuff. All those are scammers and bots. So please just know the real Kate is never going to come into the comments and ask you to, follow me here, do this, give me money, call me. So please ignore those. I'll try to referee the comments over these next couple days. And then as soon as we get to the first, I'll shut down comments again, because then I only have to referee for a couple days. But thank you guys. And I'm really looking forward to doing that. Okay, so now let's turn our attention to this. So we're going to go ahead and I'm going to pull cards, just kind of a shorter message, but for every single zodiac, I do include Ophiuchus, and I will timestamp these afterwards. So we have got, oh, and last thing, I'm sorry to backtrack for just a second and say, please, when you guys enter to win, you'll want to put it in the comments. While I'm live, you will not see the comments. You'll only see the live chat, and I won't get to see the live chat again. And I don't want you guys to miss out on a chance to get to enter from the drawing on the 1st. So I know that gets a little bit complicated, but I'm doing it this way simply because it gives everybody a fair chance. You guys can pop into this video anywhere between now and the 1st after I'm no longer live, and you will be able to see that the comments are open, and that's where you'll drop your comment, okay, about something awesome that you did. And please know, this is not to be like, oh, have you done anything good lately? Please know, I actually just think that probably a lot of people do awesome things and they never take a moment to even recognize, that's really cool that you did that. And I do think you guys should recognize how awesome you are. So anyway, I don't mean it in a negative way at all. I just hope people realize that you guys are really amazing. So, okay, with that being said, now I'll turn my attention to the zodiacs. So how you know this video is done being live is you'll be able to see the timestamps afterwards in the description box. Right now, there's no timestamps, but here's the order that I'm going to do them in. We're going to do Virgo, Libra, Scorpio, Ophiuchus, Sagittarius, Capricorn, Aquarius, Pisces, Aries, Taurus, Gemini, Cancer, and ending with Leo. So let's go ahead and get into this, and I will let each zodiac know to go back to the beginning of this video and listen to that kind of lengthy intro. Sorry about that. Oh, AJSRBIM, thank you, Angel. You are so incredibly generous. Thank you, baby. Thank you so much for that donation. All right, we begin with Virgo at 4:44. Oh, Virgo, this is awesome. Virgo, if you are just popping in, please go back and listen to the very intro. It is worthwhile for you to check out the intro message because I'm doing a drawing that, of course, free on Monday. So I just want you guys to know comments are on so you can enter into that drawing, okay? Virgo, message for September. It says caked up. It says, you are presenting yourself well and drawing the interest of those around you. It's possible for you to be approached soon, so be ready. Very nice. Very beautiful. By the way, this is hilarious because today, Virgo, I'm a Virgo, right? I'm a double Virgo and I have it all over my chart. And it's always funny because I always say, I don't feel like a Virgo. And I'm like the biggest, fattest Virgo you ever saw. But I also really love cake. So I hope everybody is eating cake with me today at some point. But the fact that it's caked up, I'm just laughing about this because how freaking appropriate is that? I always laugh and say my mom named me Kate because it was so much like cake, when in fact my name was really Katie, and my mom likes to eat cookies. And I'm like, you wanted either cake or cookies, didn't you? And instead you ended up with me. So you named me as close to those words as you could. So what do we have for September? We've got the Ace of Swords. Okay, something's coming in really clear for Virgo in September. There could be clarity on money, good use of money. This could be Virgo has an idea that's going to be a money maker. This could also be that Virgo is going to be savvy with money and cut out unnecessary expenses, thus saving money. But we have great ideas coming in for Virgo in the month of September. What does this pertain to? Oh, we also have an incoming Emperor, Eight of Wands. Okay, Emperor can be a boss. Emperor can also be, Virgo can be the person that they're going to marry, or the person who wants to marry Virgo is showing up in Virgo's life in the month of September. This could be, I mean, there's definitely changes. Selene, thank you. You are so sweet. Thank you, Angel. Thank you for your generosity and for the cake emoji. You guys, thanks everyone. So good to see you all. This looks really powerful. I still want to read this as two separate messages, though. I think this is separate. I think Virgo is going to have a very intelligent, cerebral month, specifically in regards to matters of truth, matters of finances, and great ideas are going to be abundant. So write down those great ideas, Virgo. When we get into the next message, we got two cards that came out together. We've got a strong Aries. We may have a strong masculine energy that is entering into Virgo's world. I only see that because I look at the Emperor as divine masculine energy. So this could still be a feminine, but they're approaching in this very stable, like action-oriented energy. Now, this is somebody external to Virgo that is coming right into Virgo's life. This could be a lover. This could be somebody Virgo does know about, or somebody brand new. It could go either way. We just see that they've got something to say. And I want to kind of explore that for just a second. Hang on. Emperor, what have you got to say? Your mouth is wide open. And I hope you have a voice like Otis Redding. Otis is one of my all-time favorite voices that I've ever heard. And I don't know. There's something about like the roll of the thunder of his voice always makes me think of this card. So I know there's millions of other amazing singers, but Otis has one of my all-time favorite voices. So it's always that line, when you need my heavy voice to tell you good night. Oh gosh, this is my lover's prayer. That song I always associate with that card. We have a King of Pentacles in the reverse. I said, what do they have to say? And by the way, we do have the snake pattern back here. So this is definitely very timely. We know this is coming in. I mean, this is a September message, but this is somebody who has needed to say something this entire year. And it may be somebody needing to come clean. Maybe they feel like, Virgo, I should have been your partner. I should have been your lover. I should have been the person that should have matched with you, but I didn't. To make up for that now, I'm coming in as a full-fledged Emperor. I wasn't a King of Pentacles before. I'm making up for it now to come in as a full-fledged, full-blown Emperor. My God, Signs and Sinks, thank you so much. You guys, if your name just became green, that is courtesy of Signs and Sinks. You are now members. So Lois Hickey, The Limitless Babe, Runani, 2934, Angel Leo Girl, Leah Zuzalia, Kimmy 321, Unique Talent, Sarah Schneider, Murdog 19, and Sissy 4332. You guys are all members courtesy of Signs and Syncs. So please know that means you can now tap into the members playlist. You will find every Monday I put out a members video. You'll definitely want to catch that every time I do a Monday members video. I explain to you guys kind of like what goes on in the members corner. There's extra stuff that we do over there. So I'll just let you sort that out. But thank you so much, and welcome all the new members. Signs and Syncs, baby, thank you so much. I'm adding you to a little thank you list for Monday, if that's okay with you, babe. You're so generous always. All right, let me get back into it. So sorry about that, Virgo, but I don't want to miss a chance to say thank you appropriately. You guys are such an incredible group of people. Thank you, everybody. Love you. This looks like, this is a message of love coming in September, or certainly a message of somebody who wants to, I'm not going to say wants to impress Virgo, but they want to take accountability for, I wasn't this person in the past. This is a big message on their part, right? This Emperor is saying, I wasn't a King of Coins before, Virgo. Ace of Wands. This 8 of Wands is clarified by the Ace of Wands. This is a card of passion. So again, this is their action. This is their intentions. This is somebody who's very passionate about Virgo. Virgo, this feels like somebody who has known Virgo before, somebody who was not in their best energy in the past, somebody who has, they're very turned on by Virgo, I will say that. And they may be bringing Virgo a bouquet. They may be bringing Virgo a sunflower. There's sunflowers all over this card, everywhere. So even though it's an Ace of Wands, it's almost like it carries the energy of the sun here as well. It's very warm. It's very loving. And it's very much like, it's almost like, I feel like he's pissed off about who he used to be. Like almost like he's mad at the King of Pentacles, but that's who he used to be. And it's like, you know what? I was an asshole. I wasn't this person. I'm so irritated that I wasn't that person before, that not the one that I am today. This just feels like somebody who's got an awful lot to say. They have a lot to kind of like make up for, but it's like they want to make up for who they used to be. Almost like who they used to be is some enemy in their own mind, even though it was them, if that makes sense. I feel like this is going to be someone who's very, they're not pulling any punches. That's for sure. Is this somebody Virgo is going to want in their life? I can't help but ask. 6 of Wands in the reverse. This is somebody who really rattled Virgo at one point in time, really took away some of Virgo's confidence at one point in time. This could be somebody that Virgo never imagined having success with. This could have been somebody who left quite a mark on Virgo's heart. Strength card in the reverse, 9 of Coins. Okay, so it could be a big decision for Virgo to make in the month of September, because we do have, like, I'm almost scared. I don't know. Here's that lion again. I don't know if I trust you or if you're a lion. I don't know if you are strong enough to stand beside me, because maybe you weren't before, and now I'm nervous to let you in because my life's pretty organized. Remember, Virgo's making great decisions, even better decisions, maybe in the month of September. We got finances looking amazing. We've got that 9 of Pentacles. Virgo is single, abundant, or certainly, maybe Virgo's not even single in the month, but this storyline says Virgo has somebody coming in that is approaching Virgo who is a different version of themselves than they used to be. They're the version of themselves that they wish they had been in the past, but they absolutely were not. They were stingy. They were trapped. Maybe they were obsessed with money. It's just crazy because Virgo actually has plenty of abundance in their own right. But I still feel like Virgo wants to talk to this person, but there's an awful lot of gems. I keep thinking September is going to be a money month for Virgo, but there's all kinds of abundance coming in. Signs and Syncs, thank you, sweetheart. You're beyond generous. Thank you, Angel. Again and again, thank you. I do think Virgo's going to have to make some tough decisions about this person, because they remember all too well. Look, I'm so sorry, but this is the person that Virgo says, you hurt me before. I'm going to have to figure out what to do with you now. There's that 3 of Swords. Once upon a time, I wanted you so much. Once upon a time. That song... Chances by Casablancas, Julian Casablancas. It's with the Strokes. But it says, I waited for you, I waited on you, but now I don't. I'll take my chances alone is essentially the song. And it's really lovely song, but I'm wondering if this is going to be what Virgo has to figure out. Do I really want to take another shot with this person? I mean, once upon a time, I wished so much that you would have said these words. Virgo's going to have to decide if it's too late or if their heart still, wants it. But it's like, but I remember all too well that it can go really bad with you. And now I'm really stable and I've pieced myself back together. That's going to be a little tough. But again, remember, Virgo holds the cards. They can decide what they want to do with this. All right. What else do we have in the month of September? We have got the Knight of Wands. We've got the Four of Coins. As far as activities go, Virgo could have a chance to kind of like just go do something that they really would like to do. Something is going in Virgo's favor. This could be Virgo feels very confident. They feel like they're excited to go out and they don't have to check in with anybody. They don't have to feel insecure. This is other things in their life, not related to the relationship aspect that we were just talking about, but something entirely different. I think Virgo has a sense of swaggering confidence, but we also have somebody that is sitting there watching Virgo. Now, this could be somebody headhunting and noticing that, damn, that Virgo's got it going on. That's somebody I'd like to hire. There could be somebody thinking about Virgo, possibly a fellow earth sign, but somebody who is noticing that Virgo's got a certain panache, a certain sexiness in the month of September. The way they live, the way they do things. I mean, this could be almost anyone watching from the sidelines going, I'm not approaching Virgo yet, but I am definitely seeing that this Virgo has the it factor. They have something unique about them. They have a way a confidence that they carry themselves with. I feel like Virgo's going to be really comfortable talking, laughing, even flirting with people in the month of September. That could be out of character for this Virgo. But when you're doing something that you enjoy and you forget to be nervous and you just kind of interact, that's how this comes across. Virgo is just going to be enjoying interacting with others. And I feel like that's someone who's kind of sitting there like a wallflower might notice this about Virgo and be like, what is this Virgo doing? My God, this person's got like so much charisma. They've got so much Six of Wands. They've got so much personal confidence. People want to be around Virgo. They want to be Virgo. I feel like this Virgo is actually going to be oozing joy and confidence. Their aura could be very bright in this month, and that is capturing someone's attention. Somebody wants to move toward Virgo, but still isn't. It could be a masculine, but I keep thinking this is somebody who could be like business oriented. Somebody who might want to, oh my God, seriously. I said this is unrelated to the other emperor, but we have another emperor and we have that Three of Swords. Are there two people that are kind of like falling for Virgo? Is this somebody else on the outskirts of Virgo's life? This could be a business owner that is looking at Virgo and saying, God, that Virgo's amazing. I'm a little too nervous to go approach that Virgo, but I feel like I could, because this Virgo they're warm, they're friendly, they seem confident. I know they'd be pleasant, they'd be nice to me. But God, I really like that Virgo. And it's given me a little bit more confidence. And I'd like to talk to them. I keep feeling like this second emperor. So we have two emperors in the month of September. One is kind of like secret admirer vibe. Electro Beats. Thank you, Angel. You're so generous, sweetheart. Thank you. Thank you for that beautiful donation, love. One of them is like secret admirer. And this is the secret admirer one versus the person from Virgo's past. But this feels like someone they don't want to get their heart trampled in case Virgo is just kind of being friendly and outgoing with everyone. That's why they kind of hang back. But they've got a little fantasy going on that I wonder if I could be Virgo's emperor. I wonder if I could be Virgo's, in this case, Virgo's man, right? That's classic male archetype, even though I don't read for genders. How interesting. Boy, Virgo, look, I don't know what it is about Virgo, but they have a ton of attractive, charismatic energy oozing out of them in this month of September, whether or not they know it. And when Virgo is most sexy is when they're simply doing things that they enjoy and they don't think about being watched. And when they don't think about, how they're coming across. Like it's very much Virgo's natural aura that is very appealing. We have a Princess of Cups. This person's going to reach out to Virgo in a small way. So small that Virgo might simply be like, oh, this person gave me a little inkling that they think of me as like, you know, someone who's on their radar, not even romantic necessarily, but I definitely feel like the secret admirer at some point is going to put in a very small overture toward our Virgo. This is not because Virgo isn't worth more overture. It's simply because Virgo is, appealing, but they're still testing the waters just a little bit. And our last message is the Knight of Cups sideways. This is going to be, that very first card that we saw said there's going to be lots of interactions, lots of, personal interactions. Yes, that's what we see. And now when we get that Knight of Cups sideways, to me, this is like there's lots of opportunities throughout this month that are things Virgo would want to participate in. You notice we don't really have a lot of blockages. What we do have is like Virgo's going to have to use good time management because it's going to be probably a lot of things that they could enjoy doing. Sometimes they're going to be invited to things. They're going to be asked to do things that other people want Virgo to attend, or other people want Virgo's attention. Other times it's going to be stuff that Virgo themselves simply wants to do. I feel like Virgo's going to take some good like hike or be out in nature at some point also, and they could have a bit of a spiritual like download or some really important message that comes through while they are somewhere out in nature, because this is energy being given and received. And we have, the angels are around Virgo, but the angels, at least for this Virgo, of course, Virgo being an earth sign, this makes sense. But I think Virgo's going to be getting like some kind of like download from whatever energy they're surrounded by when they're in the outdoors somewhere. They could meet somebody who says something that's really important. This could come through somebody else's lips, or Virgo could see like a really unique animal, and that could, pay attention if that's Virgo's spirit animal. And if that's, look up what that animal means. For many years, I thought mine was a skunk because, somebody said it's usually your spirit animal is the animal that you see the most. And I'm like, well, that's very like, ethnocentric, because it all depends on what continent you're born on, right? Like I'm in North America and we have skunks, but skunks aren't everywhere. But I used to see skunks and smell skunks all the time. So I'm like, oh, skunk. The skunk means boundaries. So I was like, oh, that's the message. But then years later, I did some like visualization technique thing. And surprisingly, I ended up through the end of this, I didn't think anything would come of this, but through the end of this like visualization technique, mine turned out to be the bison, the buffalo. And I was very surprised because I've never seen one in real life. And at that time anyway, and it was just very surprising. I did not see that coming. So I don't know, but it feels like there's some kind of message coming in the month of September that could have something to do with, however, the guides, the angels. It could be something very earthy, but that could come through for Virgo as well. This says give and receive this month. Give and receive, invitations, give and receive energy flow, but always like in an authentic way. I don't think in this storyline that there's anything here that would be out of the ordinary for like who the authentic Virgo is, right? This Virgo, if they're going to be, being offered chances to go to things and they're considering doing it, it's probably stuff that would actually appeal to Virgo. Things that would not be like, if Virgo's like, oh, I'm petrified of heights, but somebody wants me to go on a hot air balloon with them. Oh man, do I have to go? Well, hell no, of course not. Nobody ever has to do anything, period. But I think Virgo's going to be given and receiving invitations and offers from the universe and from those around them that would actually be part of Virgo's more natural like tempo is what it seems like to me. But it definitely says there's giving and receiving this month, particularly in like personal interactions. And those are really important this month for Virgo. All right, Virgo, I gave you guys what will be the longest storytelling simply because it is, Virgo's particular season right now. So we'll do a little bit shorter for each of the other zodiacs now. Let me get these cards back in. And happy birthday to all the Virgos out there. If you're my birthday twin, happy birthday to you guys. It's my birthday too, yeah. So I hope everybody, my wish is that everybody eats cake today, whether it's your birthday or not. Black Butterfly 25, thank you so much, Angel. You're so sweet. Thank you, babe. I hope you guys get a chance to just celebrate wherever you are in this world for just your own self, your own life. All right, Libras, you're next. 24, 23. Okay, so Libras, I just want to quickly mention to you guys, you will want to, after you watch this, please do go back to the very beginning and listen to the intro, because we're doing a little giveaway. And so I don't want you guys to miss out on a chance to participate in that. I explain it at the beginning of this video. So please go back to the intro. I will timestamp this for you. You'll know when I'm no longer live, because you'll see timestamps. If you're watching this right now, you're with me in the live. It's, 3:31 p.m. right now on Saturday the 30th, but and that's Pacific time. When this video is no longer live, that's when you guys will see the comments open up. So anyway, just go back to the beginning of the video and you'll hear how to enter to win for the giveaway on September the 1st. Sunday. Okay, so the energy for September begins with don't be self-conscious and allow others to get to know you better. Explore the diversity of your social circle. Somebody could be eating like strawberry shortcake and sundaes and ice creams. I mean, there's a big variety. And there's definitely some funky ice cream flavors. I know there's like lots of different, ice cream purveyors that have like such a variety of different, unique flavors out there. So I don't know if somebody's going to be like testing their palate in a lot of different ways in the month of September. But obviously that first message is, get to know other people from other walks of life, which I just love. All right. So this is for Libra right now. Not today. Nope. We just did Virgo and now we're on Libra. We've got the 8 of Wands. So our first message for the month of September could be incoming. This could be either Libra is going to be traveling or somebody's traveling to come into Libra's life. There could be a fire sign. Somebody has a trip planned. I don't know yet if it's Libra. It could be both. It could be somebody coming and somebody going. We've got a Queen of Coins. Okay, so this could be somebody who is arriving, who has something to do with business, work. We could have a Virgo, Capricorn, or Taurus that Libra wants to go visit. This could be a family member. You notice that we have like a feminine with either an inner child or a feminine who has a child. This could be somebody who is both business oriented, but also very fun loving. But it feels like we have this influx of energy in the month of September, or somebody or something that Libra wants to go and pursue. 9 of Coins. This could be a very auspicious month for having fun while we work and seeing like real revenues get built. This is like investments that are unique to Libra. This is very personal, right? Whatever this is that's coming in for Libra, this is directly as a result of whatever actions they take. But it brings in like a bunch of autonomy, a bunch of, it's also happiness though. This is the kind of abundance where it's like, you know what? Today I had a great work day, or, every day that I go to my job, it feels so fun. It feels like I'm making money, but I'm also doing the things that I do well. If this is, I'm going to travel for my job, it's like, you know what? I enjoy that part of it. It's finding that there's duality. There's something of great substance, and there's also like joy, and there's also movement forward in life in the month of September, which is great because, of course, we'll head on into, Libra season in September also. So we got a lot of like nice energy here. Ace of Wands, passion, wonderful, wonderful ideas. And look, this could be more than money. This could be, at first look at it as forms of abundance. I wasn't intending to talk about love yet, but this definitely says creative energy and passion. And sometimes love and business and creative flow, sometimes they merge. I want to just pause for a second, and I want to specifically ask about love though, for the month of September, so that maybe we can define if that's all just life related. So in love, we do have a wish fulfillment coming through. Whatever this is that Libra has wanted, there is something fantastic. I'm hearing Christina Aguilera. I'm a genie in a bottle. You got to rub me the right way. So I don't know if there's some intense passion. Somebody's finding that great kisser. Yeah, Empress, there's our Libra Taurus. This could be a month where, first off, there's great joy in love. and a wish come true. I feel like somebody is either going to gift Libra something, a lover could be like, wow, I cannot believe this. This person, they do everything just right. They do everything that I would have wanted a partner to do, the kindness. It's almost like, it could almost feel freaky. Like, I can't believe that this person, like the words that they say are words that were in my own mind, or I can't believe that, this is exactly whatever. If Libra's like, I've always been turned on by somebody who wears a high ponytail, guess what? That's who Libra is interacting with. I've always wanted somebody who treats me with tremendous respect, who sees my value. And it's like, guess what? That's exactly how they treat me. I've always wanted somebody who has like some kind of specific traits about them and about the way they handle love and the way they approach me. And guess what? That's exactly the way they behave. Like, this feels like kismet. This feels like a real wish come true in the realm of love. Whomever this is that Libra has wanted to meet, I feel like there's a wish come true in love. Like, Libra will meet someone that actually treats them exactly the way they'd like to be treated. Okay, that to me helps me separate that first message, because I intended the first message just to kind of be about life stuff and the second to be about love. This feels then like we can go ahead and say, let's look at this as some travel, some social engagements, some things that yield great finances. Could be an unexpected opportunity to make money, going to visit somebody. And then it turns out it's also like a really good time. And, sometimes we go visit a friend or family member and they're like, listen, I'm catering this event. Do you want to work it with me? And it's like, yeah, I mean, I'm on vacation to see you, but sure, I'll cater the event with you. And it's like, and I'll pay you for it. And by the way, it turns out to be freaking fantastic. And it could even set Libra on a whole new journey. It's like, you know what? I spent time with you. We did this fun thing. And, it might make me think about my own job and career. It feels like there could be this huge inspiration that everything feels effortless. A new idea feels effortless to start implementing in Libra's own life. That is really, really exciting. And it's really nice to see something that just falls into place for our Libra. It definitely gets them like all on fire for all these ideas that they've got. Okay, and then third message here, we've got the 10 of Cups, very family oriented, huge happiness, and the Tower in the reverse. If there had been conflict somewhere in Libra's world, if there had been conflict in relationship, conflict with parents, with children, this says that is thawing out. Sometimes we think, oh my God, we're never going to speak again. This is over. We'll never have this. We'll never patch up this relationship. And this says, no. These bonds are stronger than what Libra would have guessed. I think there's a very happy and possibly quite unexpected resolution of conflict in amongst a relationship that is so important to Libra, whether this is their family members or whomever. I think of family as whomever I pick up in this lifetime that I now say they are under my umbrella of protection. They are the people that if you call me and say, can you come here? I will be there. I don't care why you need me. You said you needed me. I'll be there. That's my inner circle. That's the people under my umbrella of protection. I don't need the why. You just got to call and I'll be there. That to me, I don't care if you're blood relatives or not. I pick up those people in my life. And sometimes I wouldn't do that for certain blood relatives because we don't have that bond. We don't have, it to me, family is whomever we really identify with and we build with. So this is definitely Libra's inner circle. It's a huge relief to discover that there is either less ego involved or there is less tension and bonds have not actually been cracked and broken, but rather will be strengthening. And I think it's going to be a huge breath of fresh air for Libra. That's really nice to see. All right, let me go ahead and continue on here. Libras, thank you again. Don't forget to watch the intro to find out about the giveaway that we're doing for the first. And thank you guys for giving it a thumbs up and subscribing. Next up, we go to Scorpio. Scorpio coming in at 3333. Ooh, very nice. Scorpios. Thanks for being here, guys. We're going to take a look at what's going on in the month of September. This is a brief peek. But I also want to mention, Scorpios, don't forget to watch the very beginning of this video in the intro because I explain a giveaway that we're going to be doing. So I don't want you guys to miss that. It won't happen until the 1st, but I want you guys to get a chance to enter to win, okay? You'll want to drop comments. I left comments on for this video, but while I'm live, you won't see the comment section yet. You'll have to pop in after I'm done with this recording it live. So anyway, and I am live in this moment. If RS Love, I see you down there. Hi, Viv. Nice to see everybody. So here we go. Let's take a look. First message for the month of September, we have decadent. Protect your valuable assets as as others may be eager to partake of them. Remember, you possess many valuable qualities. Very nice. So I like the fact that the message here is don't forget your time is valuable, your money is valuable, your intellect is valuable. It says look at yourself as somebody who's got a lot to offer. And, even if it, kind of like nudges toward like maybe business negotiations and such for Scorpio, like, hey, make sure that you're getting treated right, paid fairly, all those things. Even if it's like, well, yeah, that's great. I'm delighted that you're interested in, this or that I'm doing. We can sit down and we can discuss, me business consulting with you or something. It just says, don't forget how much you bring to the table, Scorpios. That's a great message. Okay, life in general for the month of September, Fool's card, Queen of Wands, Ten of Cups. Oh, Scorpio, spicy and sexy as ever. We do have like a big old leap of faith. We do have somebody who is possibly drawn in by Scorpio's incredible attractiveness. This is our sauciest, sexiest character. And although I'm not intending to talk about love just yet, let me just say other people may be extremely mesmerized by Scorpio. Scorpio could be particularly attractive in the month of September. Red might be a really smashing color for them to wear. But we may have an Aries who's like just, I'm wondering if somebody is going to want to leap into Scorpio's life and just immediately act like they've already built a relationship. Could even be a possessive energy that comes in just a little bit. But you know what? Scorpio might dig it. Scorpio might be like, hell yeah, that's what I like. I'm hearing Bruno Mars. That's how I like it. That's how I like it. Sorry, I'm not going to quote all the lyrics. We all know the lyrics. But in any case, that song is in my mind right now. This feels like a very sensual month. This feels like someone seems very sure of Scorpio, and Scorpio might really like that. It's just nice to see this kind of splash of you're not holding back, and I like that. It almost feels like somebody would like very much to be seen with Scorpio, but I don't think it's because of what they're hoping they can get from Scorpio. It's not like, oh, let me have Scorpio like leverage me because people will be impressed if they see me with Scorpio. This just feels like somebody who's like so mesmerized and so proud to be seen and wanting to be in Scorpio's world. There could be a lot of long looks and, intense eye contact. And this feels like this isn't even about love so much right now as it is about someone who is completely unafraid to like lay themselves on the line for Scorpio. But it also feels like there's a strong pull here between two characters. Okay, I do want to just shift over only to the topic of love. I mean, if that's the big ticket item in the month, I could see that, of course, this whole month could be saturated in things like passion. I mean, this feels sudden, and we carry on with that when I talk specifically about love. This is, again, no holding back. We saw that in the first part of the month, and then we see it when we talk only about love. We may have a divine masculine, could be, like I said before, an Aries, or it could be a Libra, Gemini, Aquarius, but this is somebody who's like, I don't care how far we are. I will travel to get to you. This could be a long distance relationship where somebody's like, no, I know we just barely met, but I'm ready to come see you, or I'm ready to make some serious changes. This is somebody who does not want to let Scorpio like slip through their fingers. When it comes to love, this person is impulsive, but I almost think Scorpio was going to just bounce and let this go. We've got the Eight of Cups. Whomever this is, they are like dedicating themselves suddenly. They are putting in all the effort because I think they know Scorpio would have been fine either way. I'm not saying Scorpio is like, oh, I could care less about this person, but it just looks like in love, they know that they have to put in the effort because for Scorpio would have been, Scorpio's life is very full. Scorpio has other things that they are busy with. Okay, this is a Two of Cups. Um, I feel like we have a divine masculine. I don't know if Scorpio once upon a time, gave time and space to this individual. And they're like, oh, I don't know if they're ever coming toward me, but I know I'm not going to hold time and space for them. I have other things I'm meant to do in this universe. You see, the Milky Way is right there. We see, Scorpio is just like, I can keep moving on. But when it comes to love, we have this person who's actually chasing. We could have a shift in runner chaser dynamic. I'm not saying Scorpio was necessarily ever chasing them, but remember that very first message was know your worth, know that you are worth so much. I would definitely say that comes through in this month for our Scorpio character. They do know what they're worth. That's why they don't chase. That's why they can let something go. But this person cannot let Scorpio go. And I think there's a big shift in dynamics in this month. Okay, and let's just get one final message here as well. So good to see everybody. Eduardo Jimenez, how are you? AJSRBIM, thank you, sweetheart. We have got the Knight of Wands upright. Okay, hugely passionate, hugely creative month as well. Somebody may smell really nice too. Knight of Coins. So in matters of like work, whatever this is, I'm feeling like literally Scorpio might be doing some project that is like intense, something that is physically demanding, something that is like a labor of love, a hobby, a craft, something that they want to do. This could be woodworking. This could be laying tile in their bathroom, something that they've wanted to do for a long time. They put a lot of, time and energy. They've assembled all the things that they need, and now they're going to go ahead and put the work in. This could be like, I want to build a website. I've wanted to do it for a long time. I'm finally going to do it. I finally have all these great photos that I want to upload. I finally want to get my business page up, or I've wanted to do, like I said, like a hobby or something. But I will say this, it's a direct, whether it's artistic, whether it's a hobby, whether it's a business related thing, it's a direct reflection of Scorpio's like brainchild. This is something that will reflect Scorpio's own, perception of the world, the perception of who they are and how they want to present themselves. So it's very personal, and they've spent a lot of like quality time assembling all of the things that they want. This is not a Scorpio who would like, if they're throwing together a website, it is not thrown together. It's like, it's cultivated. Every word that's going to be written, every photo that's going to be part of it, the business logo, whatever it is, it's very precise. It's very specific. And it's something that I think Scorpio's like, yes, this I'm proud of. This, I've assembled all of this. This is how I want it to be. And I would just say that it's very much like something that is on Scorpio's like life path. This will, whatever they do in the month of September, it's not only a culmination of a lot of like cultivating the things that they wanted to put together, but it's also something that will have far-reaching implications in their life. Sometimes we decide I want to take this trip, but when I take this trip, I want to have, learned how to speak a little bit of the language of the country that I'll be visiting. I wanted to put together just the right outfits, and there are certain spots I want to go to take certain photos because eventually I want to put that into a vlog. And then that vlog will take on a life of its own. Like it could be something like that, where it's like, I've planned this for 2 years. Now I'm doing it. And not only that, it will have far reaching implications and could be a moneymaker idea as well. So very cool. Very cool. All right. Let me go ahead and let's go ahead and continue on. Scorpio, again, don't forget to check the very beginning of this video, the intro component of it. And I will tell you how to enter to win for next, for the drawing on the 1st. And thank you guys for giving us a thumbs up and subscribing. Ophiuchus, you are next, coming in at 4311. All right, Ophiuchus, thank you guys for being here with me. You will definitely want to listen to the very intro of this video, because in that I explained to you guys that I'm doing a little giveaway. I'm going to pick 9 winners, and that'll be on the 1st. And I explained to you guys how to enter. So don't miss the very intro so you guys can do that. And thank you for giving us a thumbs up and subscribing. But this is for the month of September, just to check in. So big message for the month of September starts out with 4-2. It seems like someone wants to spend their time with you, is what the message is on this card. Well, it could be that unexpectedly, even Ophiuchus could be starting to like, assemble things that would be comfortable for two. I'm picturing somebody who gets like a bench or something, or like a glider, but there's space for a second person. Somebody could be getting a love seat, and it's like I don't really know why, but I keep, I bought something, but it came in a pair. I bought, a coffee, but it was buy one get one free. All of this could be because it's the symbols that are saying, hey, there's companionship. It doesn't have to be about romance, but it could be about companionship. Oh, I got this, but I got an extra one. What am I going to do? Oh, I should call my best friend and be like, hey, I want to swing by and give you this extra cupcake I've got, and let's do a lunch date. It doesn't, it just says that there's an opportunity to share in the month of September. And that could be really important. Big ticket items in September, we have got that 5 of Pentacles, which says there could be a moment of like acknowledgement that there's something I'm needing. There's something I'm hungry for. There's something I want. 3 of Coins, 8 of Wands. Well, then Ophiuchus will get it. In the month of September, I don't ever look at the 5 of Coins necessarily as a sad and bad card. It all depends on what other cards we have. I look at this as if I were cooking dinner and I was like, okay, here's what I want to make. Well, first I have to check my cupboards and see, do I have all the ingredients? And if I don't, then got to run to the store and get those items so I can make that for dinner. It's not sad to do a little check and say, what is it that I'm missing right now? So I think the month of September could be a month where there's an assessment that Ophiuchus makes. What is it that I want? What do I not have right now in my emotional pantry? Let me go out and get those things. And it says, I want somebody to like come into my world. I want to work with somebody. Maybe I need to hire somebody to do something that I need done. Maybe I need to build business. So maybe I need to get more involved in like going to business meetings, like community business meetings. How do I get networking? How do I get what it is that I need? This could be about work related things, but this says Ophiuchus is going to be really great at identifying, hey, I'm not an island. There's so many people out there that have so much great knowledge that I could learn from, that I could collaborate with. It may be a month for interacting and, inviting or pursuing something and say, hey, listen, I've heard that there's, whatever, a month, once a month, business chamber of commerce meeting, and I'd love to participate. How do I do that? Who do I talk to about joining the chamber of commerce? This is what I do for a living. I'd love to network. It just feels like it is a month to network, which makes sense because we do have more than one. We have 2. I keep feeling like there's going to be a ton of success in interacting and companionship, but right now we're talking about it more in the business landscape than or neighborhood. Not even, it doesn't have to be business, but like if I want to do something, or if I want, something to be done at my house, and I'm looking for somebody that's like affordable. I only have so much money to spend on this. Let me ask around. Let me talk to other people. Let me ask them, hey, how much have you ever done do it yourself? Or do you have the name of a great contractor? Or, here's what I'm seeking. And it says, do the research in the month of September. That's actually really nice. All right, next up, we have got the 5 of Cups. We've got the 7 of Coins. Now, this is for the topic of love. Oh, somebody's sad, and they have been for a long time, and they're reaching a crescendo of sadness, which is good because it's finally the turning point. I don't know if this is somebody who's been missing the hell out of Ophiuchus for a long time, and in the month of September, they reach that point where they go, what the hell am I doing? I've been missing Ophiuchus for how long? There's this gap. I either miss Ophiuchus, or I could interpret this as Ophiuchus having missed somebody. And in the month of September, it's like, I really, really, I'm feeling by myself. I'm feeling like, how long am I going to be alone? But out of that, sometimes we have to hit that point where we're fed up with something before we start to say, now, wait a second, hang on, there must be a reason for this. What is it that I've been doing in a span that I've been alone, or that I've been missing somebody? What have I been working on? What should I be working on? Because this actually says there's going to be a breakthrough. There's a harvest moment coming. There's some kind of an answer as to why this has happened, why there has been a loneliness. Knight of Pentacles, this has been a long, slow journey for somebody to either, we see all masculine energy on this right now. I don't read for genders. All of my stories can always be masculines, feminines, same-sex couples, reverse gender roles. Does not ever matter to me, because we all have feminine and masculine within us. So I don't try to pinpoint gender, because even if we see all male, this could still be a female. So But the male energy is the energy of the sun. That's the action taking, the projection energy of manifestation. And to me, the feminine energy is the moon. That's a gravitational pull. So yes, we see masculine energy, and sure, this could be a Ophiuchus, but doesn't have to be. We have an 8 of Pentacles here. This has been definitely something, and we're just going to say that he has been working on. When it comes to love, somebody who's been dismal. They've been so sad. They have been so like, it's kind of like a hole has been in their heart for a period of time. But instead of standing around now feeling just completely bummed out, they finally quit kind of feeling bad for themselves. And they start to say, now, wait a minute. I must have had to learn something about this. My impression is that this somebody Ophiuchus left. Ophiuchus walked away from somebody. And maybe this person is very wealthy. Maybe this person is, they got all the nicest stuff, but maybe they needed to develop some of their own personal attributes. I don't think Ophiuchus was willing to put up with somebody who maybe was either still immature or selfish or like emotionally unavailable. No matter what, they could have looked very successful. We see somebody who's got a very, very, very nice, mansion house. They're in brand new white kicks. They got, trendy clothes on, perfect haircut and everything, but they're freaking miserable. They're lonely. They're holding a map. Like, I don't know why didn't this work? And they're finally getting it in the month of September. I needed to work on something else. It doesn't matter how much money I have. Ophiuchus is not impressed with that. What mattered is that I was supposed to develop something else. I was supposed to work on a completely different component. Maybe I'm great in business, but maybe I sucked as a partner. It just feels like we may have in this storyline, whomever the divine masculine energy is, this is somebody taking action to recognize this is what I needed to change. Okay, so we're getting some answers here for this character. All right, what is our final message? Final message for the month of September is 2 of Cups, which can certainly be that this is a month of things aligning. And you notice that we have all areas of life. We have love, we have health and wellness, we have money, we have, cooperation and collaboration. So we've got every aspect that could come into alignment in the month of September. This is like, as a whole, it is a month of harvest. But every single thing from the beginning to the end of this storyline, you notice that it's always about more than just Ophiuchus. This is not a month for the independent, individualized storyline, not for Ophiuchus. For Ophiuchus, the story is all about Ophiuchus and how they interact with the world around them, with business partners, with lovers or a lover, with, other, even like medical professionals or something. If Ophiuchus, I'm picturing somebody who like works in like a medical facility or adjunct medical facility, or maybe there's somebody else who's, that Ophiuchus is like advocating for, and, health and wellness. It just feels like everything this month has a beautiful potential outcome, so long as the goal of every interaction is, let's find harmony. Let's communicate well. The goal is to actually come together and find solutions, not to create drama. So giving grace probably this month in interactions, and also finding solutions. That's the core of everything here. But this is not a month where Ophiuchus is just out there doing their own thing. This is not an individual's month. This is a month for relationships, which is actually really cool because all this looked super positive. All right, Ophiuchus, again, thanks for giving it a thumbs up and subscribing. Shout out to Delinda. Delinda is the only reason that I actually do Ophiuchus, because she was the first person who ever said, will you do Ophiuchus? And then I said yes, and then it took me like 8 months before I actually started to do that properly. And so I always say thank you to Delinda. You brought Ophiuchus into my channel. So shout out to you, sweetheart. And thanks again, guys, for being here. Don't forget to watch the intro so you know how to enter for the drawing that I'm doing on the 1st. And it's just random. When I say drawing, I'm not talking about anything other than I'll scan through the comments. Where my finger lands, I will choose 9 people at random. So there you have it. Next up, we have Sagittarius coming in at 5318. Saggies, thank you so much for being here. All right, Sag, either before or after you're done watching this, you'll definitely want to backtrack and go to the intro in the very beginning of this video, because I am doing I'll pick 9 winners at random on the 1st, and in the beginning I tell you how to enter for that. Okay, it's of course free and all that, but listen to the intro. I'm not going to waste time for that right now, but this is the component where we're going to take a look at whatever the big messages are for the month of September. All right, so here we go. We start with Sherbert. It says, you inspire excitement in others. Don't compromise your uniqueness. Stay bold and authentic. I'm sorry, the writing is really, really, really small on this, and it's a dim room that I'm in. So my apologies that I have to really tune in my old eyes. I love that. I love the fact that we've got that inspiration factor. Also, wondering if somebody's literally making sherbet, eating sherbet. I don't know. There's something here that starts us out with I'm like literally smelling and tasting like tangerine and orange right now. So that's very pleasant. Big ticket item for the month of September is Two of Cups. Let's get one more on that before I go anywhere else. The Two of Cups, sure, this could be a union coming in for Sag. That could be, a lover's union. We have the Strength card upright. Strong Leo energy. There's strong bonds, but there's also a strong bond with one's own inner peace and harmony. Any relationship, any interaction, I think during this month of September is going to have to like pass the sniff test of, does my intuition say that this is good, bad, or or otherwise? Let me make sure that my higher self agrees with this. There is a month where some bravery might be involved, and be brave enough to listen to what our intuition is saying, because there will be times where we have to say no to somebody. There will be times where we, just because somebody wants us to collaborate with them, if it's going to overtax us, even if we want to do this, we may need to say, okay, yes, I want to, but it has to fit into my schedule. And, being really good at being strong enough to say a genuine yes or a genuine no so that we don't get overwhelmed. That seems to be a really important message, because there's going to be great stuff this month that I think our Sag is really going to want to participate in, but they have to be strong enough to make sure that it fits into their program, and that they actually genuinely believe that this is a sincere, like, I'm going to receive something in return. This is a month maybe for collaboration, but fair and equal collaboration as well is really, really important, because one's time is valuable. And there will be people and opportunities that want to be a part of Sag's life, but it's like Sag needs to make sure that it can genuinely fit into their life, and that they genuinely want to do this, not that they feel obligated. Thank you so much. Oh my God, AC, thank you. AC just gifted 5 memberships. If your name just turned green, that is because you are now a member, courtesy of AC. Kindred Spirit, Journey of the Light, Shaman of Memory, Ego Tatan, the Empress 444, and Nature Explorer. You guys are all now members courtesy of AC. So that means you can check out the members playlist. Definitely want to watch our most recent members video. I put one out every Monday, and I explain every Monday kind of what we do in the members corner, so you know how to participate. We do once a month, like 2-hour segment where we do storytelling just for members. We do anyone whose birthday month is occurring, let me know, and I do a 3-card pull for you. We pick a winner each week, and you guys get to vote on a trio of topics. So anyway, if you didn't know, that's how the members corner works. And then, of course, we do a Monday only members video. But just so you know now, you are able to participate in that. All right, you guys, let me go ahead. Oh, guys, please don't forget, if you're going to enter for the drawing in general, that'll happen on the 1st of September. Please know you'll want to put your comment in the comment section, which will be available as soon as I'm done with this live video. Right now, you guys are all in the live chat with me. If it's 4:04 p.m. Pacific Standard Time as you're watching this, I am live right now. So you'll see the live chat is available. Afterwards, you'll notice that the comments are on. And I did that on purpose so that anybody can participate. You don't have to just be with me in the live. Also, I did that so that anybody, whether you're a subscriber or not to my channel, you can still enter to win. I just thought it would be nice. Today is my birthday, and I want to kind of like, I don't know, just pay forward and just say thank you guys for visiting, whether you're subscribed or not, whether you're members or not. I don't care. I'm just honored you guys pop by, and thank you for sharing kindness with me, with those around you, with the world around you. So thank you, everybody. All right, back into this. Sorry, Ophiuchus, to interrupt. It's Sagittarius. Please forgive me. Sag, now we're talking about the topic of love, and we have got that 8 of coins. The 8 of coins energy is, I mean, this is very much about love. This is very much about Happiness is very much about somebody who's working hard to create something that is going to be really worthy of offering it to Sag. Now, it could be Sag who's also working on themselves. It could be a two-way street, but we have two distinct different people on these two cards. I almost think Sag is going to have choices in love this month, but there is someone in particular highly focused, and you notice that there's this like shimmering halo of light behind them. I know we could say, well, maybe it's a sunset in the city. By the way, he could live in a major city. But I would say he's getting like this divine download of exactly what he wants to brush up on. This is somebody who's preparing a love offer, preparing possibly a gift, preparing something that they would like to say. But I don't know that that's on Saggy's radar at all, because we have Sag over here kind of thinking in their own mind, what would I want in a partner? Sag could recognize that there's quite a few beautiful, sexy people, and they might be like, I wonder what a relationship with them might be like. Actually, let me change decks real quick. It almost feels like maybe they're trying to figure out. Okay, we have another Sag card here. Sag has to figure out what they want, what kind of person they want, where they want to put their arrow. I mean, this is Sag showing up for themselves on a card of choices. Such a vast array of choices that Sag has to pick from. Who do I want? Who do I love? 3 of Pentacles. So we definitely have a choice in love in the month of September. There could be 2, if not 3 people that are on Saggy's mind. But this says Sag is going to be a major attractive energy this month. So the more they put their mindset into like who they're drawn to, what qualities in a person they would like to welcome into their life, probably the better off they will be. But I definitely feel like there's at least 2 people that Sag has on their mind in this month. But this keeps saying when it comes to love, Sag will be the decider. Sag holds all the cards. If they want to give to somebody, probably that person will fall for Sag. If there is somebody on Saggy's mind, they will likely fall. They will likely fall for Sag. And then last but not least, we have the Queen of Swords. It's in the reverse. There could be either murkiness, irritation, even anger that could pop up in this month. That murkiness, that irritation, possibly anger. There could be a jealous individual. That could be this is don't get drawn into drama. This anytime I see a court card go into the reverse. And again, as I say all the time, it doesn't matter to me if our characters are masculines or feminines. I will say what we see on the card. I see somebody in the chat that keeps asking about genders. I don't read for genders. But to keep a storyline straight, to figure out, which character we're talking about, I'll refer to what's on the card. You as an audience member, you get to decide how you want to see characters. I'm not in your head and you're not in mine. I'm a storyteller. These are all fictional. I don't care what gender any character is. But to help keep the imagery correct, I'll go, with what we see. So we could say that we may have a feminine, but bear in mind, we're just talking about energy. We're not talking about genders. But we could have a Queen of Swords who is in this karmic energy, right? They're in this cycle. And anything that gets into a cycle that seems to be negative, not in the greatest and highest good, not being honest, not being straightforward, not being seeking like peace, that could become drama. And we never want to hop on the drama mobile of going round and round and round. So at some point, I'm almost feeling like in the month of September, Sag might have to just stop dealing with somebody or just be like, hey, I can't please them. And it's not my job to please other people anyway. Let people see it the way they want. Let somebody insist however they want to insist. It's not my duty to try to force people to see things in a different light. It's not my job to keep explaining to people. It's definitely not my job to prove anything to people. If somebody's upset with me, so I don't feel like this is Sag. If somebody's jealous of Sag, that's a them problem. That's an SEP. That's a somebody else's problem. And it just kind of feels like there is something to let go of in the month of September for Sag, so they don't get on that, Ferris wheel of drama. If we have somebody who is disgruntled, unhappy, they're going to have to sort that out themselves. That's what it looks like to me in this particular storyline. So that alleviates some of the pressure maybe off of Sagi's shoulders in this storyline, which is always kind of a relief to like differentiate between like, what do I have power over? What is my duty? My duty is just to be kind. My duty is not to make sure that other people have everything that they need all the time. Especially if it's somebody who doesn't actually want to be happy. And a Queen of Swords in the reverse can be somebody who doesn't really, they're not looking for happiness. All right. Let's go ahead and move on. But Capricorn, thank you for being here. Thanks for giving it a thumbs up and subscribing. I'm sorry for that little bit of interruption that happens once in a while, but I appreciate you guys so much. Next up, Capricorn coming at 104.22. Capricorns, welcome. All right, we're going to take a quick peek at what's going on in the month of September for Capricorn. Also, I just want to let you guys know, please do take a look at the very beginning, the intro of this video. In the first couple minutes, I explained that we are doing a little giveaway so that you guys can enter to win. That'll happen on the 1st of September. So I explain that to you guys, okay, in that very first couple minutes on this video. But now let's just turn to the month of September, and we have got Candy Liquor. I like this card already. It says, keep an open mind when it comes to trying out new things and meeting new people. You never know what you might discover during your adventures. So taste all the different tastes that there are, listen to different music, talk to different people, interact with different people, absorb. Even if we're not used to somebody else's maybe point of perspective, like be open to it. Maybe there will be something, even if we're like, yeah, I'll never agree with that perspective, but I'm sure glad I learned something about it because it helped me to identify why I do or don't agree with something. It helps me to question my own, perspective. Let me see, does that have merit? Does it not? Why does it not? It's like it encourages more critical thinking. The more we meet different people, hear different music, taste different things, the greater our palate and maybe the greater our intellect will be. So kind of an exploratory month perhaps for Capricorn. All right, so big topic for life stuff. 4 of Swords could be a month for a lot of healing. That could be really lovely. There could be some quality time where Cap says, you know what, I'm going to practice listening more. Talking less and listening more. I think that it's really nice to like, yeah, I don't know. I feel like this Capricorn's really enlightened. It takes, I always think a very Zen person, and I'm not saying I'm very good at this. That's why I admire people who are good at this. But a very Zen person who goes, let me sit for a moment and absorb what the universe has to say to me. Or in this moment, let me just hear what somebody is saying and let me try to like allow the real message to get to me. So I'm going to do that sometimes not through withdrawing and being silent and staying away from everybody, but by being an observer of life for just a minute. It doesn't mean all month. It just means Capricorn could find themselves practicing like mindful awareness of the world around them. And that could actually be soothing for them because they're able to find, oh, there's the truth in all of this. This person who's saying something to me, they're not angry at me. They're frustrated and they're exhausted and they're a good person who's trying to do their best. And it's really hard. And they feel like they're pushing against boulders. At first, I would just thought, man, that person's an asshole. You go into a business or something and somebody's in a crap mood and you're like, geez, what's wrong with them? But then instead if you kind of pause and you go, let me see what the bigger picture is. Let me absorb what's going on in this space that I just walked into. Sometimes it makes a lot more sense. Then it's like, oh, that person's not directing it at me at all. I just feel like this is a freaking brilliant Capricorn. We got a 6 of coins. It is going to make relationships especially, I know I say this all the time, I feel like with Capricorn stories, Capricorn has like a lot of work related drama sometimes that they're perpetually putting out fires. They sometimes also, I notice it in my Capricorn stories, we have like sometimes love triangles or work related love romance storylines. Right now, I'm not trying to talk about love at all. I'm just looking at the big ticket items for the month of September. And it says it's a month where there could be a lot of insights gained that'll heal Capricorn's heart and reduce stress and further build better relationships. And like even promote like real strong bonds between people in Capricorn's world, their inner circle, the people that they care for, the people they care about. And sometimes we unexpectedly discover that people are on our side and we didn't even know it. The more we are like patient with other people, sometimes that's the secret sauce that makes them be like, wow, you didn't get hostile back with me. You were kind to me. And that makes me, care about you even more, because it feels safe. It feels like there's safe relationships developing and friendships and like camaraderie in this month that seem to be developing. And it's all because of how Capricorn approaches. I know it's a tall order for, wow, Capricorn has to be the person who perpetually, puts out this patience and all of this understanding. But it's a pretty awesome person to be. So well done, Capricorn. Okay, in the context of love, we have a page of coins going to the Four of Wands. There's definitely a conversation about, hey, what are you looking for in long term? Hey, what kind of, what do you think makes a relationship work? This could be a new relationship for Capricorn, or an established relationship that suddenly a new conversation comes out of it, and it's like the light bulb is going on, like, I think this is the person I might be staying with. I'm realizing we click. I'm realizing we have long-term similar visions for what we would like. And the thing I really like about this is that it's not about the wedding, it's about the joy that we would have. A Four of Wands is about the thing that matches my energy the most. And if two people are going to have a conversation, which that page of coins is conversation, what do you think is the most important thing to bring to the table in a relationship, a marriage in particular? Because this is very much about marriage, but it's a marriage of the spiritual self instead of just, I'm sorry to say it this way, but I think a spiritual component, the desire, like, I want to be with this person, my heart loves this person. To me, that's way more important than the judicial aspect of, like, hey, we signed this contract, the court system sees us as legally sharing, the same last name or whatever, and we file joint taxes. To me, that's not as binding, even though we could say, well, legal documents are more binding. I think the heart is more binding, but that's just because, I don't know, that's just how I see the world, or I see love. But this says what's great is that Capricorn and another person have that conversation somewhere in the month of September, and they realize this is somebody who views it the same way. The core of what would make a good foundation for a long-term relationship is, I want somebody I can laugh with, play with, love with. I want somebody who matches me, that thinks relationships should be joyful. We should be partners in building something that makes a better life for the two of us, not a competitive scenario. Not like, hey, I'm trying to find somebody who can then take care of me, or find somebody that I think is broken that I can then fix. No, it's like, my idea of a great relationship is the two of us happy together. And it feels like that conversation is coming in the month of September. This could be a first date that goes really freaking well. And it's like, I can't believe this, but this person, I really think they have the same vision that I do. Maybe that's why they've been single too. Maybe because they've been waiting to meet somebody who sees like love as something that should be positive, joyful, and they don't really want less than that. It feels awesome, but I do want to get one more card on this, because I'm still trying to figure out if they are new or not. King of Pentacles. All I can say is they're serious. I don't know if they're new. I don't know if they're old. This could be a relationship that is already established. I can only say that we have somebody who shares Capricorn's vibe. Ooh, they could be a Taurus. We just brought some strong Taurus into this. We've got some stubborn energy on this too, but that's shared. Some of the qualities, like, I keep feeling, oh God, that saying, like, we're going to be playing for keeps. This is not going to be lighthearted. Like, I don't intend to get involved with anybody, or I don't talk about marriage with somebody that I don't already think there's some kind of vibe with. So I would just say this goes from serious to seriouser in the month of September, as this bodes very well for the potential outcome for a relationship to become very serious and to end up, I'm not saying two people are getting married in the month of September, but I'm saying there's a subtle awareness that I have a feeling we're both going to stubbornly fight for this, because we both saw that there's a hint that this could be really good and that we could be amazing together. I don't even know if they say it out loud in so many words, but it definitely comes across like, I can already tell there's some gravitas to this, and I like it. I don't, if we have little ups and downs, this is not going to be two people who just throw in the towel and be like, oh, it started out good, but we had one disagreement, so it's over. This feels really strong. All right. And final message, we've got a King of Cups. There is a really great time to be generous this month, generous with emotions specifically. Someone might also go out karaoke singing. That might be a much needed like outlet. I'm picturing somebody who gets up there on karaoke and like sings from the guts. We're talking, they do not just do some lighthearted, little tiny something. They're doing an anthem. They're doing like I'm hearing like a Kim Carn. She got Betty Davis eyes, that grind that, or like, God, there is a rock version of that song by Kate Bush, Wuthering Heights. And he got to listen to it. It's a song where it's like a very minor key. It's actually quite a disruptive sound. But then when they take it to the bridge, or I guess to the chorus, Heathcliff, it's me, it's Kathy, I've come home. There is somebody that covered that in this very rock version. He's Brazilian. I think he's passed on. His name starts with an A, and so does his last name, but I can't think of his name right now. But he sings it like a hairband from the 80s would, just shrieking it. And it is so powerful. And that is like the song that is in my head right now, or somebody that is just belting it out, sharing their emotions with the world. It's a very expressive month. We have this 3 of Wands. This is about setting the tone for the future. I feel like there's so much positive energy around Capricorn in the month of September because they're doing things that really matter. They're expressing their real selves. They're expressing their emotions. They're really, like I would say, unafraid, unabashed in every area of life. They're absorbing information, building better bonds. There's something real serious coming up with romance. And then just in general, this is like a Capricorn who's opening themselves to what they truly want from the universe. And they're singing it from their heart. Very nice. Very, I don't know. I feel like this is a character that is just like radically honest with who they are and what they would like in their life right now. Well done, Capricorn. All right, Caps, don't forget to go back and watch the very intro to this video so that you know how to enter for the drawing that I will do on the 1st of September. Okay, I'm going to pick 9 winners. It will be just at random. It'll just be out of the comment section, but I explained that to you in the beginning so you know how to do that. And thanks for giving it a thumbs up and subscribing. Next up, we have got Aquarius. Aquarius coming at 1/16/22. Aquas, thank you guys for being here. Honored you guys are popping in. Okay, I do want to mention, Aquarius, please do take a look at the very beginning of this video. Go back to the intro so that you guys can hear how to enter, because I'm doing a giveaway on the 1st of September. I will pick 9 people out of this video. So anyway, I explain how to do that. Of course, free. It's not like it's a drawing like that. It's just a randomly where my finger stops. But I explained that at the beginning of the video, so please don't miss that. So this is for the month of September, though, the energy for this story. So we have Coco for our beginning message here, and it says, you possess a grounded and steadfast character that commands attention and admiration from others. Your influence is undeniable. Very nice. And also sweet as well, right? Coco is such a, I will also say in different cultures, I want to say, is it some of the South American cultures specifically that have like a cacao or like chocolate that is like integrated into like a spiritual ceremony as well. I don't know that it's Peru. I want to say that, but I might be wrong. But I'm just feeling like there's a certain amount of like gravity that people will approach with, like, a formality. I'm picturing somebody who's like, maybe Aquarius is being invited to, somebody's home, and it's like you are the revered guest kind of energy is what I'm getting off of this. So big message for the month of September is the universe is spitting stuff into Aquarius's world. There could be somebody very important going to be introduced into Aquarius's world. Anytime I see that spiral of the Milky Way galaxy, it's like, I'm picturing like, in the old cartoons where somebody spits out like their tobacco. I feel like the universe is spitting somebody right into Aquarius's world that they would not expect to meet. This is not something that Aquarius can probably prepare for. This is like expect the unexpected. And I say that because we've got the pyramid behind him. This could be possibly a masculine, does not have to be, but they could be a fire sign, a Leo, Sag, or Aries. To me, all it says is it's somebody who's going to be very warm, very heart-centered. There could be an element of creativity coming in. High Priestess. I said it's not something that Aquarius could probably expect, but in a weird way, when this force, when this person, when this opportunity, I usually look at court cards as people. So I do feel like this is somebody who's going to either heighten Aquarius's like some facet, like they're an enzyme. You know how enzymes like speed up chemical reactions in the body, right? Like I have to give Aries a liver enzyme because his little liver needs a little bit of help. And that has been massive for getting his digestion, where it should be. He needs a little bit of enzymatic assistance. And so I'm picturing this person as like a catalyst, so like an enzyme in Aquarius's life. This could be, like I say, it's usually a person, but a person could just represent like a doorway. This could be a random person that Aquarius bumps into, has a seemingly innocuous conversation with, but strangely, it's like, oh my God, they just told me something that totally inspired me, that, has got me thinking about something that I've wanted to do for a long time. Only now this door is open. This is a highly charged, like really important person that I came across because of the way we just interacted. And it's like, it's piquing Aquarius's, like, I'll say 5D radar. This is, Aquarius is like turning on their intuition like never before. This could also be somebody that, because there's a very sensual component to this. We don't usually talk about it enough, but the High Priestess is lady in the streets and a freak in the sheets kind of energy. Okay, she is a hidden, incredibly sensual vibe. Now, all things in life we could say are sensual, right? Human beings are sensual creatures. Think about, how many senses we have, right? We want to touch stuff. We want to smell stuff. We want to taste stuff. We want to experience stuff. We want to hear stuff. All of that is because the world is full of sensation. And this just feels like a new level of senses are going to be turned on. Now, this could be that maybe Aquarius is going to meet somebody that's a teacher, meet somebody that inspires them to get better attuned to their intuition, because that High Priestess deals with things that are hidden, powerful intuition. We've got an Ace of Coins. Definitely, this is a newness in the month of September. And all I can say is that it feels as if Aquarius has a new version of themselves that gets flipped on like a light switch because of somebody that they encounter. So again, this could be, maybe this is our natural mystic who didn't fully identify what a powerful mysticism they held within themselves. And now they're like, oh my God, I cannot believe this, but somebody just said something to me so simple, but so true. And I realized, oh my God, I am, whatever, a shaman. I am an empath. I am somebody that is picking up information from the cosmos. If this one person hadn't crossed my path, I never would have picked up on that, or I would have denied it, or I would have dismissed it. And now I'm actually learning something about myself through this conversation, through this person who opened up a doorway. I definitely feel like it's an awareness, like, oh my God, a new one of my senses is now, I'm aware of it. And wow, I can work with it now that I know I have this. It is like a gift that Aquarius has and has had that they just didn't acknowledge up until this point. Okay, let's turn and look at love. World card, Knight of Cups. We have new energy coming in. We have a pursuit of romance. We have somebody, possibly a water sign or a Capricorn, coming into Aquarius's world. And this could be someone who, you notice that it's coming full circle, right? A serpent's eating its own tail. We do have somebody standing there, in a wedding dress. I definitely feel like this is specific for a character who's maybe been married once before, divorced, and they could have been married at a young age and divorced, this Aquarius. I mean, we're talking like they could have been married like at 18, divorced by 19, and now they're, 45, 55, 65 years old. And it's like, oh, I've been single for a long time, didn't even think about it. And now all of a sudden, in the month of September, I have a new love and something has come full circle. I could be meeting somebody who is freakishly similar to my ex all those years ago, but a matured version. Something is coming full circle. Something is like, it's finally the right time. Look, if it is the same person from the past, but they've matured, they've gone, around the sun a couple times, at least it's a full year since Aquarius would have dealt with this person, if it is somebody from the past, is how I would say this. Only because I look at the world as like an entire cycle. And this specifically makes me think about like an entire life cycle. Granted, when we go through profound upgrades, I don't think it happens like, today is my birthday. I'm no different today than I was yesterday. But there are moments in my life where I can think back and be like, that's the day I ended up different. That experience, I don't really think that on my birthday that I'm 44. Well, I was 44 yesterday. Today I'm 45. And now I'm different. I've always felt like I age based off of like assimilation of life experiences, and that does not happen on my birthday. I reflect a little on my birthday, although I kind of feel like a lump today. I don't feel like I've reflected on anything. Aries got stung by bees last night, and I had to hold him for 4 hours while he got through his pain and settled down. I'm not laughing. I have to give him antihistamine, but until that kicks in, he just needs to be held and cuddled. And he thinks that my petting him takes away his pain, and it's the most endearing. I hate to see him in pain, but it's the most endearing thing ever that he's sure that mommy's hands will take away his pain. But I didn't really have time to reflect on stuff this year because I was busy taking care of my baby, but I felt like that was such a gift, so just knowing that your comfort to something like that is just so amazing. That was I don't know, it just totally warmed my heart. And when his pain was gone, it was like so good. I was so happy for both of us. But I'm only saying that because love comes in many different formats. There are different moments in life where we realize something is different, where we maybe even view love as something different. I know I'm talking about love right now, and it does look like it's, human, passionate love, right? We're not talking about just the love for creatures and life, but even that, there's different facets of love. And because we're coming full circle, I'm thinking that this is a really, like, this month could bring in the full experience of what love is like. This is a very mature kind of love that is also exciting, and it's expressive, and it feels like for some reason now is the right time in Aquarius's life for this particular love story to come in, or to come back in. Very nice. All right. And we're getting a lot of this. This card wants to keep coming out. We also have a Two of Cups. Two of Cups is a card of choice. Two of Cups is a card of opportunities. It's a card of, we can say oftentimes it gets that rap of being a twin flame. Now, I personally feel very different about twin flame stuff. There's a lot about it that I do not agree with, that I don't support, that I don't like. And that doesn't mean I'm right and anybody else is wrong. I think everybody should think the way they think. You do you, boo. Whatever works for you, whatever makes you kinder, softer, stronger, more loving, than awesome thing to believe in. But let's throw that into the mix, because this oftentimes does look like a Two of Cups, twin flame kind of message can go along with that. However you perceive that. And we have Mercury. So we have a month of incoming messages. I really do think that for Aquarius, this is a month where messages of love and better communication with anything that we care about in life, and anyone that we care about in life. Communication is everything. And communication is nonverbal as well as verbal. Communication is in our facial expressions. Communication is in the way we stand beside somebody, the way we, just let a colleague or coworker know that we're on their side. It's the way we show up. So different forms of communication are really important this month, is what it says, to show that, hey, I want to cooperate. Hey, I care about you. Hey, I'm here. I feel your pain. I empathize with you. But the different forms of communication, not just verbal, are really being highlighted in this. And that seems to be like what I think Aquarius is going to really excel in, is how I communicate what I'm feeling, what I care about, definitely in love, but also remember the intuition component of this. There's a lot of nonverbal communication happening this month, but it looks like our character is just like rocking it. Good job, Aries. The baby is ever the protector, ever on patrol. All right, next up, Pisces. Here we go. Pisces coming in at 128.35. All right, Pisces, before you guys, or perhaps after we get to this, Pisces, don't forget to go back to the beginning of the video, listen to the very intro. I tell you guys how to enter for the card pull that I'm going to do. I'm going to pick 9 people at random out of the comment section on the 1st of September. But I explain that in the very intro. Okay. So for now though, let's get into the message for September. Sticky. It's important to be aware of individuals who become overly attached to you in an unhealthy way. Okay. So a little bit of a heads up, Pisces, that maybe this is when Pisces is being like extremely like generous with their energies, caring so much about other people's dreams, listening and inquiring about other people's journeys. And that's wonderful, right? But if that makes people latch on and be like, excellent, I am basically the center of your universe, Pisces, I love this. I feel like I'm on stage and you're my rapt audience. And now I want to keep calling you up and I want you to give me more and more of that full undivided attention. I've become addicted to the fact that you make me feel like the only person in the world. That can create a monster. It's like beware creating the monster. That's an interesting message, and I think a fair one to just be mindful of, because I think Pisces are really, really lovely at being the dreamer, supporting people's dreams, wanting to hear about people's dreams. There's lovely energy. I adore Pisces in my life. I have some really lovely Pisces in my world. So, and they're just such wonderful like non-judgmental forces in my world. So it's kind of a sweet message to be like, hey, Pisces, also remember, like it's great to be nice, but also don't feed the monster who now just needs all of your attention. That's how I take that message anyway. Okay, so big ticket item in the month of September, death and rebirth. So there's some changes going on. We may have somebody who has transformed themselves and they want to tell Pisces all about it. This could be, we have a masculine in 2 different forms there. They are like down on their knees, like in prayer in both of those. And this could be somebody who wants to enter into Pisces life, and they may be trying to explain that they went through like a huge spiritual loss followed by this renewal. This could be somebody who's, the death card is a wonderful card because it gives us a chance to do things differently. In one lifetime, we can be many different people because we live a long time and we have plenty of time to go through epiphanies and to go through life changes and to take on different careers and to move to different places and really grow. And it is super exciting when we experience growth. And sometimes we want to like stand up and testify and tell everybody about it. But it does say that someone might be coming in to tell Pisces how different they are. Now, this could be Pisces going through a transformation as well, but we'll see. It just says, this is awesome. This is an amazing thing, a big change. In one lifetime, we have a character who's had like a huge breakthrough, and it does feel very spiritual to me. We have a 9 of Cups on that. This could be like, if it's somebody else who's coming in to tell Pisces this, Pisces could be like so thrilled, so genuinely thrilled for this person. This could have been what Pisces always hoped for this person. This could also just be that Pisces is so like loving, and it's like, your happiness is my happiness. This could be, I feel like parents always feel that way, when their kids are doing well. It's like parents experience their children's like, attain achievements in life as if they're their own. They're so happy for their kid because they love their kid so much. So it could be something like that. Or it could be Pisces themselves saying, I can't believe this. I just had this big breakthrough in my own world, and I'm so excited. The only thing here is like, what do we do next? This gives a lot of freedom. This feels very exciting, but buzzing around all over the place. It could be a chaotic month, even though it's a great month. I keep feeling more like somebody wants to stand up and testify. This is what happened to me. Oh my God, I got to share this with you. Now I'm going to run off in this other direction. Then I want to zip back. I'm picturing like a dog with the zoomies, or a cat with poo euphoria or something. I don't know if anybody else's pet does that, by the way. Sorry, that's a little crude perhaps, but they call it poo euphoria when your pet is like delighted because their tummy is emptied out and they feel so good and they get the zoomies to, tell the world. Aries barks and runs around like crazy when he's his tummy feels so happy, and it's hilarious, and it is called Boo Euphoria. So sorry to bring that up, but I feel like somebody is just going like crazy off the rails, so excited, but it is jumbled energy, even though it's very positive, but it's a flurry of excitement. Doesn't mean that there's anything negative here. It just means it could be a surge of joy all of a sudden that could be shared with Pisces, which again is nice. But Lion's Queen, thank you, Angel. You were so sweet. Thank you, babe. That's so generous. Okay, Ten of Swords. Somebody is having the breakthrough because they finally remember that death card. I finally ended whatever that was. I finally, quit the terrible job, or I finally broke it off with the person that I really knew I needed to break it off with, or I finally had some kind of closure in my life. And oh God, the relief is just incredible. That is really something to celebrate. But it just says after the zoomies, the euphoria, then it's like, okay, this is the first day of the rest of my life now. These things have changed, celebrate it, and now like let's start like maybe not curtailing, but let's start putting energy into the next real plan. It might be a good time to brainstorm because there's going to be so much joy, so many ideas coming out. I really hope that this is Pisces who is the one experiencing this, and they get to have all this joy, and they're the ones buzzing around, because it's like a new lease on life where I can write down everything I ever have wanted to do because all roads seem possible to me now. Now let me figure out, what do I want to do first, second, third, and fourth. Let me get organized now because all my wishes are mine now. I can make them come true. So I sincerely hope that is Pisces and not just someone else experiencing this and zooming into their life. No matter what, it's like Pisces is going to get the happiness vibe though, even if it's not them directly having these joyful experiences. In love, we actually have a Page of Wands. This is a new journey that we're starting, but it is certainly after the dry desert. So I think Pisces meets somebody new in this month after not dating anybody in a long ass time. This is like, oh my God, I totally forgot what it felt like to be turned on. I totally forgot. And now somebody is attracted to me and I'm attracted to them. This is a brand new beginning, and it is the first little tiny step forward. Got this Five of Wands. Pisces could be rusty, and so too could they be. We may have, again, we see a masculine here. He's boxing with himself. He may overthink things, but it's because he's thinking that Pisces is a real catch, and I don't want to mess this one up. But they could be a little awkward. They could tend to have even like a funny pattern to the way they speak because they get up in their heads and they get nervous. This person could do something like martial arts. They may be somebody who's like very physically fit, but they do tend to overthink things a bit. Magician. We see the reflection here. So I'm going to say two people are in the exact same energy. It's like, God, this is just who I wished I could meet. I've wished that I would meet someone after this dry desert that I've been in. I've wished that I would meet somebody that seems sincere. I've, envisioned. Now, here's the thing. I'm not saying I'm right. Please be mindful of that. I'm a fictional storyteller. But in my perception, I always look at the ways that we like manifest, and I have a whole nother concept of what manifestation is as well, but we won't go down that rabbit hole right now. But I always think we manifest in one of like two ways. Either we project outward what we would like to go find and pursue, and we start thinking about it, and then we start actively seeking it, or and that's the energy of the masculine, because it's the energy of the sun. The sun projects its rays outward. The feminine is the energy of the moon, and that's a gravitational pull, right? The moon itself is only a quarter the size of Earth, and yet it's so powerful that it tugs on Earth as it orbits us, and it's so strong that it sloshes the water on Earth's surface because it pulls on our planet just a little bit. So when we're talking about manifesting from the feminine energy, the moon energy, that is super powerful too, just as much as the sun having the plasma bursts. But this is masculine energy. So I'm going to say that Pisces and another person have probably both, since there's two of them here being equally reflected, have both thought, God, I'd love to meet somebody awesome. I'd love to meet somebody that's a lot like me, maybe. Somebody that just seems like they're done with exes. They aren't still having X's in their cell phones. It's a dry desert. There's no more water there. I don't have emotions left for X's. I'm really single. I am not complicated. I am not coming with any luggage. I've got minimal baggage. Yeah, I had an ex. No, I don't talk to him. Or yeah, I had an ex, but no, there's no emotion left for them. Even if we shared babies together. Hey, yeah, that's a part of my past. It's a part of my history. I still talk to my ex, but there's no crossing of boundaries here, whatever it is. It just feels like that's kind of what Pisces has wanted, is somebody who is, it's okay that you have a history, but you can't bring your ex with you like a ghost who sits at the dinner table with me. And I feel like it's exactly, that's what our character has projected. That's what they've wanted to manifest. And I feel like two people have perhaps or are meeting each other in this month because they both, I don't know, they're both deep thinkers, maybe. They're both visionaries. They're both characters who, actively are paying attention to what signs and, signals the other one is giving. So I definitely feel like this could be two people that are, not wanting to trespass on each other. It's brand new. We're just starting to meet each other, just starting to date in the month of September. But I like getting to know you, and I can see you're a little hesitant to, say too much or ask too many blunt questions. But on the other hand, wanting to still express or maybe get to that really important question, like, are you really single, or are you, it's complicated? Because I'm thinking Pisces doesn't play the complicated game. Well, what seems nice is that there is no complication in this. Two people seem to be gravitating toward each other for the exact same reason, which is there's no more, there's no more need for all that complication. All right. And then final message here is Six of Wands. There's a lot of success this month. There's a lot of Pisces could do something that gains them more notoriety. Could also be somebody could be going to a concert and they could be singled out by whomever the performer is, and that could be like, oh my God, that was so thrilling, that was so exciting. Once upon a time, and this is bizarre. So today is my birthday. I turned 45 today, but once upon a time on my birthday, I was in Vegas and I went to the Blue Man Group. And if you've seen them, I did not know it was real. I always thought that the people who got pulled on stage were plants. They aren't, because I was one of them. And it was crazy. I won't give it away in case you've never seen the Blue Man Group in Vegas. It's a terrific show. It was really fun, but I was mortified. I had no idea. I always thought that those were fake people that they pulled up on stage, and they aren't. They are real humans who have no idea that's going to happen to you. And it was really fun. But I don't know. I feel like that kind of energy in this for Pisces, something super funny and fun. And maybe it's mortifying all at the same time. As an introvert, it was mortifying, but it was hilarious at the same time. But that's, once in a while, those quirky things happen, but I don't know that I think that this is quirky. I think that this is a month of real success in Pisces life, a month where they're getting some of the things they've really wanted. And it, sometimes the universe has a way of like celebrating with us. Like I always felt like that was the universe celebrating on my birthday with me. It was hilarious. But I feel like something big could be coming this month for Pisces. That's just more like, oh my God, this is so fun. The vibes are good around me. The energy is awesome around me. This feels like a month to have a lot of happiness and maybe a lot of laughter. Even though our first message was also that message of like, hey, be mindful. To put it bluntly, I kind of think that this month is about Pisces. It's not about other people taking like Pisces thunder. It really feels like this is a month for Pisces to focus on themselves a bit and enjoy their successes a bit. All right. Pisces, don't forget to check the intro of this video so that you guys know how to enter. And then thanks for giving it a thumbs up and subscribing. Next up, Aries. Here we go. Aries is coming at 1:42:38. Aries, thank you guys for being here. Please do watch the very intro of this video so you guys don't get cheated out of knowing how to enter to win for the, I'm going to pick 9 winners out of the comments. The comments are on this video, but I explained that to you guys in the intro. I'll be doing that on the 1st of September. So you will have plenty of time to enter in the comments, but just don't want you guys to miss out. And thank you, Aries, for giving us a thumbs up and subscribing. Okay, first message for the month of September is confection. You exude sweetness and kindness in your compassionate nature, and it is one of your best qualities. Very lovely. Let's go ahead and take a look. Say that might really come to the front and center in this month of September. Death and rebirth. We've got strong Scorpio energy coming in. There's change afoot. There's something big. This could be that Aries is going to be really compassionate with somebody. Oh, Two of Cups. Really compassionate with somebody, and that could deepen an already existing relationship. If this is an Aries who's already partnered with somebody, dating somebody, has somebody that they already think, kind thoughts of, this is like, wow, I feel so lucky to be with my Aries. This could be other people in Aries, like whether it's in, you notice that we have many types of relationships recognized here. We have, business partnerships with the money stack there. We have lovers partnership. We have, possibly any other kind of, doing business with people. It doesn't have to be exchange of money, but like coordinating with friends. We have, healing with people. There could be all kinds, we have lots of different relationships in our life. And depending on what career we have even more versions of relationships, clients, friendships, the subtleties of what is in between those two. Clients can also be friends. Employers and bosses can also become friends. Friends can become lovers. There's so much minutia, but it just says we have possibly re-emerging or changing relationship. So a friend could become a lover this week, or a lover could become, like, we're actually not lovers anymore, but man, you have been so instrumental in my life. You've been somebody that I'll always still cherish. You know what? You helped me heal a lot. And now I'm hearing Gwen Stefani, and now we're cool. This, whatever the transformations are, it could be almost every relationship in Aries life has an opportunity to like blossom, shift, deepen. It all feels very amicable though, but it feels like it's probably because of the way Aries treats people, which is just really, there's a lot of generosity of spirit here. So awesome energy for, relationships. We have Justice though also. Even though we're talking about a ton of good relationships, there's also one that has been gnarly. And that one may be being addressed. We could have somebody coming in to say profound apology this month to Aries. This could be somebody that was like the love of Aries' life or vice versa. And they perhaps have gone through some significant emotional upgrade, or will go through that in the month of September. And that could bring them to like needing to, maybe they've already faced karma, or they are facing karma. And look, there, anytime I see the karma card upright, and by the way, it's strong Libra, I always think this is where something is wrong and it's being identified. This is wrong and it needs to be fixed. Aries definitely deserves something to be made better, something to be fixed. Aries deserves somebody to course correct this. Bellum B, thank you, Angel. You're so generous. Thank you, babe. You're so kind. Thank you for that donation, love. All right, let's take a look at love next. Something karmically is getting settled though in this month. And I just keep feeling like that is because Aries deserves it. But in the matter of love, we have High Priestess and we have the Hanged Man. And this is an interesting Hanged Man card because we see two versions of him. Somebody's been in deep thought about Aries, and Aries knows this. This actually to me speaks very well. I know lots of times we go, oh, great, Hanged Man. Everybody's hanging around, not making any motion, not making decisions. But sometimes it is testament to how important Aries is to this person that they would think, anything that is worth really putting in effort, really contemplating, it's because it matters. Things that don't matter, we don't spend a lot of time on. But when somebody really touches our heart, when the quality of an interaction is that meaningful, and there's like spiritual levels to it, and it's not superficial, it's really deep, and there's all this subconscious energy, and there's this awareness that somehow this is making me a better person, or I've met them for a reason. That is something worthy of taking time, taking, like if you're going to make really great spaghetti sauce, you got to let it simmer. You can't rush certain things. And I just feel like cooking in the kitchen is a great example of stuff that has to come together. You can let the ingredients simmer and soak together for a while. Sometimes food's better if you let it get chilled, put on, in the fridge for a night and then bring it back. And I'm wondering if this has been a relationship that's been handled that way. There's a ton of meaning. There's a ton of essence to this, but there has been a pause. And maybe this thing has even been put in the fridge or is being put in the fridge for a period of time, but it's deepening in, the flavors and the texture of this potential romance instead of diminishing it. Just because something takes a while. I definitely feel like, how we have basically the Libra scales being shown here twice. If these two components are related, then it kind of says that a relationship is a major factor in the month of September. And it could be a very meaningful relationship where somebody they were not their best selves. They could have been a Pisces, it could have been a Libra, could have been a Pisces, Cancer, or Virgo, could have been a Scorpio. But someone who has not been their best self has not stopped thinking about how to change that, what vibrational level to get to. There's been some deep thought and continues to be throughout this month. Let me get one more on that topic of love. Ace of Cups. Everything here actually speaks really highly. Somebody's name could start with a W or an M. I know that's a W, but I see it as an M, which is weird. I'm the worst at seeing things in reverse. I'm that person who, if I look at a map, I have to go, okay, but I'm over here and I have to turn my body around. So I'm oriented with the map. And then I have no spatial ability. That drives me nuts about myself. And I have no idea where north is. None. But I never get lost, which is the weirdest thing. But I can't tell you where north, east, west, or south is. Hell no, not a clue. I just kind of ooze my way into places. Sorry, I have no idea why I made that about me just now. But I guess because it's weird for me to keep looking at that as an M when it's clearly a W. Sorry, but it's standing out. So maybe something is just no matter what, we see it in the reverse, almost like I know that this person loves me, even if I'm not, hearing from them. I actually know that they love me. I know that it's not just passion. I actually know that it's love. And whomever this is, they know that it's not just passion also, but it's taking time. I'm almost feeling like maybe this is going to be somebody that Aries has had a passionate, engagement with, and then not even talking to for a chunk of time. And it's yeah, but that's because they're a little bit overwhelmed. Or maybe it's Aries who's a little bit overwhelmed. That wasn't just a roll in the hay. That wasn't just a flirtatious conversation. That wasn't nothing. This means more than that. And it kind of feels like throughout this month, there's a lot of profound thought over this. This matters a lot more to my heart. I think Aries is somebody who makes a mark on people's life. A really good mark is what it says, particularly in this month, and particularly on a lover's heart. All right. And last but not least, let's take a look. We have got the 10 of Swords. There are endings in this month. In particular, something very strenuous, something very difficult is coming to an end. It could be the end of self-doubt. It could be the end of, something that we were working on. Sometimes we go ahead and we go, okay, this is going to be hard, but I'm going to challenge myself anyway. I want to run a 5K or a marathon, half marathon. So I'm going to totally put myself through this intense training. And then it's oh my God, this is so hard, but I'm going to do it. This is a culmination, even though it is a painful culmination. Sometimes this is where we get the greatest achievement and the greatest, okay, I did this. I completed that journey. I don't know that I think that this has anything to do with any of the other things we've talked about so far. To me, for Aries, this looks like there is an ending of something else external in their life that they did not enjoy, something that was plaguing them. This could be a bill that they kept having to pay off, and finally it's done. This is the last payment. Or this could be somebody that they're going to cut out of their life, relationship-wise. Could be anything that is causing a lot of mental time is spent thinking about that. I think Aries is getting that time back. So it could be a difficult person that somebody works with is finally, quitting and moving on. And it's it's wonderful. I stayed nice. I stayed grounded, but wow, it's really great that I don't have to be stressed out every day. I'm so glad that, things have changed. I stayed kind, and I'm proud of myself for having done that. It's definitely an accomplishment, but it's also an easing of some tension. All right. Next up, oh, Robin, thank you, love. And thank you guys again for being here. Thanks for all your awesome energy today. All right, Aries, please don't forget to take a look at that first component of this video, the very beginning intro where I explain how to enter for the drawing on the first. All right, Taurus is next. Taurus coming at 153.29. All right, Taurus, thank you guys so much for being here. Taurians, at least after we do this Taurus component for the month of September, don't forget to watch the very beginning of this video. In the intro, I explained to you guys that we're doing a little card pull. I'll pick 9 people on the first and do a card pull. And so I don't want you guys to miss out. So I explain how to enter for that in the very beginning of this video. Also, thanks, Taurus, for giving it a thumbs up and subscribing. I just pulled you 2 initial cards for the September overview because Aries literally just got this one. And my rule is anytime I'm using the same deck and I'm using it repetitiously and the same card comes out immediately, I always pull a second card just to make sure. I guess is the way I look at it. I don't know. It's just the way I have to do things. I'm a Virgo. That's when I prove that I'm a Virgo. And I'm sorry, my tummy is grumbling. I am hungry. Okay, so big oracle message here is confection. You exude sweetness and kindness, and your compassionate nature is one of your best qualities. And we have kissable. It seems that someone is quite drawn to your lips and is contemplating the idea of giving you a sweet kiss. I dig it, Taurus. Taurus is pretty hot and tempting is what this looks like. All right, let's take a look. Not about love yet. Let's just do the overview here. We've got a page of coins and we've got the 6 of coins. In especially things that Taurus, values, matters of like work related energy, family related things. I feel like Taurus is going to be helping family members this month. I feel like they are going to be an integral part of like either protecting somebody. If there's like a family member that everybody cycles around, it probably won't be Taurus. It'll probably Taurus is like part of like, oh, the new baby's born in the family. We're all going to go and, visit the new baby, or there's a family potluck and I'm going to attend and, make sure that it'll be really great when the elders of the family show up. I'll make sure that they get settled in seats and stuff. It just feels very collaborative. If this is about work-related stuff, I feel like Taurus may have some really great brainstorming ideas, but I like the fact that it won't all be on Taurus's shoulders in the month of September. There's collaboration, but it does feel like Taurus has some great sparks of idea, but then either they know how to delegate to make things happen and implement these great ideas, or there's like other people just get on board. If it's like some great idea for, hey, our family should do this, or hey, in the workplace, I was thinking about this. They may get the green light to go ahead with it, but it's also like other people want to participate. And it just feels like it, many hands make light work. So share the great ideas, but then definitely delegate and get other people invested. Also, guys, if you're entering for next week, please, or excuse me, for the first, please know you'll have to do that when the comments are visible. Right now, I'm actually still live. If you're watching this at 5:03 p.m. Pacific Standard Time on August the 30th, it means I'm still live in this moment. As soon as I'm no longer live, then you guys will see the comments. So right now you guys see the live chat, and I won't get to see the live chat again. And I'll be pulling people's names as winners from the comment section. So I just really want to make sure that you guys know you'll want to pop into this video when I'm no longer live and the comments appear. I don't want you guys to get cheated out of your chance to enter to win is why I'm saying that. And I didn't want it to be so that only people that are with me in the live can win. So anyway, I'm sorry, but I if I didn't make that super clear, but I just don't want you guys to miss out. So I try to keep stuff as fair as I can. With that 6 of Wands sideways, everybody wins. Everybody wins. This is such a great month. I feel like everybody that interacts with Taurus this month is going to walk away feeling like, I felt so good about myself. I felt like I was part of the team. I felt like Taurus was glad that I was there. I felt like if Taurus is a leader, like at work or something, I feel like Taurus is a very good leader. I feel like they have a way of making people feel like you contributed, you mattered, you were here and we needed you. You made this whole experience better. I love that. I think it's so nice because Taurus in turn also feels that. There's really great relationships developing in this month, particularly possibly in the workplace. Okay, now I only want to focus on love. That could seep into love, by the way, that message. Six of Swords and the Three of Cups. Remember, we had that like kissable energy, but we also have, I mean, obviously it looks like we have a Taurus who maybe has had some tears. Maybe they've had some struggles. Maybe they've had, I mean, every character will have things that they, that don't go well, and especially in love. But it looks like Taurus's time for like being a little sad, if they had been pulled back into themselves and healing for a period of time, like maybe the last 6 months or something, our Taurus was by themselves. And they were like, you know what, I've been healing, and it takes time. Yeah, I look out the window and stuff, but I haven't been ready to step my toes out on a night out on the town. And it looks like Taurus is going to be encouraged, and they will be accepting an invitation to go out, possibly with friends, possibly to a spa, possibly just out to dinner, possibly just to go out and have some fun. This could be friends that want to introduce Taurus to somebody. But in the context of love, it looks like the Six of Swords is always about like, finally, I feel like I'm in calmer waters. I feel better. So the month of September, Taurus could be like finally really feeling healed from a previously painful experience, something that they had to move on from, someone, something that they had to move on from, a thought process, a memory. But this is the month where they kind of come back into, all right, I'm single, I'm ready to mingle, I'll go out with my friends. Somebody wants me to meet somebody, why not? We have a Five of Cups. That Five of Cups is not our Taurus. This is somebody else who's had his or her own loneliness. I really feel like Taurus is getting set up on a blind date, or somebody's like, hey, listen, my cousin is in town. They've been divorced for a while. It's been like 5 months for them. I just really think that, Taurus, you would understand where they're at, or, Taurus, I really think you should meet somebody. It feels like there's a reason. There's a great song by Big Kenny, and it is called Somewhere Under the Sun. And it's like that's a perfect song for this, because it's two people that are like at the airport, and they're both going for some trip that they intended to take alone. I mean, that's what the whole story of the song is about. But instead they like collide into each other, and it's like that begins like a love story, because in the song it says now they'll call and reserve a room for two. Somewhere under the sun, there's happiness and fun, there's love for everyone. It really feels like a turning point in Taurus's love life. I know it's not that Taurus was like, I'm expecting to find love. In fact, if anything, Taurus is like, I know I'm not falling in love with somebody in the month of September. Even if I start going out with friends and stuff, even if they want to introduce me to their cousin, their brother, their recently divorced, whomever, I know that they're not going to fall in love with me, and I'm not going to fall in love with them. But we do have the Magician, and the Magician is Merlin, and Merlin is full of magic. So you never know. You never know. This feels like, just don't, for Taurus not to set up any predefined ideas. If they're saying, fine, I'll let you set me up with your cousin who's coming to town, but I'm positive that it will not be exciting, Taurus could be stunned. This person could be very into Taurus. Taurus could be very into them. It could feel like magic. And it's like, I walked in here certain that there would not be love. I was absolutely certain there would be no love happening. And yet magic is afoot, which is always the way love is. Love is the thing that lots of times you don't realize that it's coming. Oh, there's some song trying to bust into my head. It's something about like when love walks in. There's a million songs about that, the surprise and the way you didn't realize your life could change when you were so sure that it wouldn't or couldn't, and then it does. But very, very beautiful energy on that. You never know what'll happen. That's all. You never know. And our last message here is Empress energy, which is Taurus. This Libra Taurus energy. This could be a month where Taurus actually really feels powerful. And this might be by the end of the month. That might not be what they would have expected. They didn't know this. A month where it's like, look, I've been kind of coasting along for the last 6 months, just working on healing, just working on doing what's in front of me. But this feels like by the end of this month, I think by the end of September, rather, I feel like Taurus will be feeling like they are the emperor or empress of their life. They will be able to look at where their life has been going, what has been happening in their life, and see, oh my God, so many things because the energy I've consistently put in. That's why I've built these great relationships. That's why, things have been happening for me. That's why friends want to introduce me to people that they think are really lovely, is because they think I'm really lovely. That's why somebody's attracted to me. It's because I'm actually an attractive person. I just feel like Taurus, like this is a kind of a mind blossoming month where if Taurus has not in a long time felt really sexy or hasn't realized that they are an absolute catch and that people want to be around Taurus, and that Taurus brings so much to the table in the workplace, in the family, in a romance, this is a month where by the end of it, I think Taurus has enough data that proves, oh, I'm something. I'm something. And it's like, yeah, Taurus, you definitely are something. You're quite the catch. I love seeing this for our Taurus. It's a very humble Taurus who needed a little bit of that little shot of truth. It's not even a shot of self-esteem. It's a truth. I love that for Taurus. All right, Taurus, please don't forget to check out the very beginning of this video, the very intro, so you know how to enter for the drawing on the 1st of September. All right, Geminis is next, and I will timestamp all these at the very end. Geminis. Okay, so gems, before or after I do your component of this story, you guys will want to go back to the very beginning and listen to the intro of this, because I am doing a card pull for like 9 winners on the 1st, and I tell you guys how to enter for that. So please don't miss that, or do if you're not interested, of course. But I just want to make sure that everybody gets the same info. So, and thank you, Gemini, so much for being here and giving it a thumbs up and subscribing. Thank you for making my channel a better place with your energy. So this is going to be a check-in for the month of September. And we have Sucker for the first message out. And it says, fully comprehending the meaning of kind words requires an awareness of their true interpretations and intentions. So that does low-key hint that not everyone is going to be truly what they seem to be. And that's always true in life, right? Sometimes people do nice things, but it's only so we think that they're nice people. Other times, people that don't seem very nice do incredibly generous things. And we're like, that person has paid more attention than I ever thought they did. That person is way more intuitive. Sometimes the most cynical, crusty people are also the ones who are the kindest, who've just had shit happen in their life. And they come across as grizzled and unkind. And instead you're stunned to discover that they're some of the best people, the most giving, the most loving people out there. So lovely energy of like surprise, perhaps. But it also says, pay attention to somebody's motive, because that good and bad, it almost hints that maybe Gemini is going to have both scenarios, individuals coming in their life. They could have some false friends that are people like, oh, wow, yeah, that's definitely not, you're not with me for the right reason. This could also be that Gemini has, right now we're still on the big ticket item, so I don't want to focus too much on it possibly being love and romance, but Gemini is coming across as our most attractive queen. Doesn't matter if Gemini is a masculine, they're still coming across as they're very alluring. They're gravitational pull of the feminine. So a lot of people want to be around Gemini in particular. There's a reason, and it can be that Gemini is really hot. It can also be that Gemini is going places. It could be that being seen with Gemini would be a bit of a trophy for somebody, or it could just be somebody who says, I love all the things that Gemini is. I love their strength. I love they're sexy, but they're sexy because they know their own mind. And I like independent thinkers. There's a lot of different reasons somebody might choose to be wanting to stand beside Gemini. But this month, it just says people are proud to be in Gemini's inner circle. 4 of Swords. That 4 of Swords is both a card of silence and healing. And it can also be the card that says the universe suggests, hey, hush for a moment and just listen for a message that is right there in the environment. Listen to somebody's actions, listen to the real words that they say, and maybe even listen to the words that they don't say. Reading between the lines sometimes of, like, again, this is still following through with that question mark of people's motives. I think that maybe Gemini is going to discover that some people that they thought were kinder are less kind than what they thought, and other people that they might have been like, oh, I don't roll with that person. They could be having some shifting, and surprisingly shifting, like friendships and loyalties. People that they didn't realize they would get along so well with are going to be people that become near and dear. And other people that at first it seemed like it's really fun, I really like this person, they could become quite tiresome and quite superficial. Sorry, I know it sounds really rude, really mean, but Gemini, remember Gemini is the twins themselves. So they've got a duality, and that gives, and Gemini is really good at conversation too. But it's interesting that it says listen more than converse. And to hear what somebody's real motives are. We've got the star card. I actually think it's going to streamline and simplify Gemini's life to be like a more active listener, and to ask oneself, why do I have the people around me that I do? Some are going to be really amazing, and some are going to be superficial. But I feel like this is a month where Gemini streamlines who they spend a lot of time with. I don't think it's rude or mean at all. It just seems like, yeah, there's definitely some fair weather friends in the mix, and then there's some other, like, true blues, and Gemini's going to know who's who by the end of September is what it seems like. Okay, let's take a look just at love. We've got Strength card. We've got 3 of coins. I don't normally look at a 3 coins as something where there would be 2 different options in love, but I do this time. And it kind of says, this makes perfect sense, because you notice how we have Gemini sitting here, and it's like, I've got one version of me listening on this ear, and I've got the other version of me listening on this ear. I kind of feel like Gemini is going to wind up being tempted by 2 different individuals. And I'm not saying Gemini is trying to put 2 people in competition for their affection, but I am thinking Gemini is like, do I keep thinking about somebody from my past, or do I only want to move towards somebody, that maybe I've just met? Because this is like older versus younger, but I'm not looking at it as age related. I'm looking at it as Gemini might be saying somebody from my past that maybe I thought, would I still, have emotion for? Would I want to, there was a strong bond. Maybe I still feel bonded to them, but am I ready to instead give my attention to somebody new? This feels like it's a month where Gemini is, notice how she's standing here in the middle, pointing straight ahead. Almost like what we would see on a 3 of Wands. Like, I'm thinking about my future. I'm thinking about what direction to go. And I'm thinking, who would really go with me? Who do I really see in my future? This feels like it's a good month to really think about, who do we see as a true partner? I'm hearing true companion. We have Magician and we have the Hermit. It definitely just reinforces that same message to me, is that Gemini is going to have to decide, kind of like, who am I? I'm Jean Valjean. Sorry, my brain is, I can't say that without instantly singing the entirety of Les Mis. I've seen that way too many times. I know all the music to it. 24601. Sorry, if you love Les Mis, you know what I'm talking about. If you know, you know. This feels, so by the way, maybe somebody is French, has French heritage. Maybe they will meet somebody who is French, or just because the French, have, like, I loved France. Every time I've been there, it's a very, Paris is such a sexy city, and there's just something just lovely about my times that I've spent in France. So I would definitely say, Paris is a city of love. So this fits nicely together. But let's say the real question here is, who could I have fluffy romance with, or who could I build an entire empire with? And if that's what it boils down to, Gemini is trying to ask themselves that question this month. Gemini may not choose to give anybody their heart, but rather start to ask themselves, from that energy of duality that they have within themselves, is what's an illusion versus what's the real deal. Sometimes somebody that we could say, oh, that person in my past, though, we had such a bond, and I have all this history, and I still think about them, and I've always still believed that, we'd probably patch things up. But it could also be that it's like, yeah, I will always love them, but in a realm that is intangible, because in truth, I already know we're not compatible in the 3D. And I really do want to give this new person, who I've barely met, but I really want to allow myself to consider building a genuine bond with somebody else who's in my 3D world. I get this strong hint that it is about Gemini landing the plane. them trying to decide which partner is, I'm not going to say fiction, but which is like in a fantasy world, it could be perfect. But honestly, I live in the reality world, and who is it that I could really see building with me? Sometimes we have a person that we have loved and they stay forever in our mind. But in truth, let's say they never wanted to get to know our family. And it's like, but I'm really connected to my family. I can't be with somebody that doesn't want anything to do with family. I want somebody who, when my parents get old and I already know that they're moving in with me, I got to have a partner that is going to be like, oh yeah, moms, pops, they're elderly and they're coming to live with us. Same thing. I want to feel that way about their folks. That's important to me. I'm just using it as an example. I'm not saying that's what it is. And I'm not saying it's better or worse to do one or the other. I'm just saying that's a really fundamental thing to know. What kind of a future do I really see? And is a partner that I'm saying I could see myself with, do they share that vision? And this is just that month where I think Gemini is getting really clear on what's an illusion of a partner that they could be compatible with and have long-term success with, and what's real. So very nice, because again, it gives all the power to our Gemini. They will choose a partner that's really right for themselves. And I think that's awesome. But it is about choices, not necessarily I don't even know that Gemini is like, oh, I'm talking to both these people, dating both these people. This is more like in Gemini's mind, when they get clear on what person, what quality of relationship they actually could see themselves in long term. Once they get really clear on that, that's when that's a relationship that'll start to blossom. But this is a month for that decision to be had, to cut out somebody that is an illusion in Gemini's mind, and go with somebody that's the real deal, or that really would be more compatible. All right. And then what's our final message? We have Temperance in the reverse. Look, there's a lot of choice making, which is oftentimes not very comfortable. But if the month of September is a month of transition, which is kind of what we saw, right? We saw Gemini, listening closely. We saw Gemini defining who really belongs in my life. We saw Gemini streamlining their life. And that means, cutting out some relationships that aren't going to stay with us. In love and romance, letting go of certain things. That's going to feel uncomfortable, because it's like sometimes we hold on to other relationships as almost like safety nets, or sometimes we, people don't want us to let them go because they're getting something off of our energy. And it's like, but this is a month where it might be uncomfortable conversations to advocate for what one really truly wants. If I don't want certain things in my life because I'm making these decisions now, it's time I let go of certain things, even if it's a little uncomfortable to do it. So sorry, Gems, it does look like an empowered month, but also a month that could be just a little bit uncomfortable now and again on the decision-making process. All right. And then Gems, don't forget to check out the very beginning of this video and for the intro. And then thanks for giving it a thumbs up and subscribing. All right. Next up, Cancer, coming in at 2/16/24. Cancerians, you guys will want to go ahead and take a look at the very beginning, the intro in this video, because I explained to you guys how to enter for the upcoming card pull storytellings that I will do on the 1st. I'm going to pick 9 winners. So watch that intro. I explained to you how to enter. Now, this is going to be a message for the month of September. Cancers, please know that I don't do your guys' full-length videos over here on this channel. I made you guys the star of my other channel, Tarot Dog. So just bear in mind, the only reason I'm mixing you guys in on this channel is because I always feel like it's like mean or something to not bring you guys in when I do all the zodiacs like this. I don't do this series very often where I do everybody all at once, but I am today, and I didn't want to leave you guys out. So that's the only reason you're here. Otherwise, normally I put out full-length videos for you guys on Tarot Dog. Also, just FYI, you guys can enter both here and on Tarot Dog. I'm doing a card pull on the 1st over there as well. So you guys can check out that video also. All right. And that's for everybody, not just for Cancer. So Cancerians, we have got our first message here is shareably. So differentiate between the non-committed associations and dedicated partnerships and act accordingly. So is somebody here for, a good time or a long time? And I'll use something that is different, like my little doggy Aries. He's bonded to me and I'm bonded to him, right? Blue healers are really famous for bonding to like one person. And he's going to be with me his whole life and vice versa. So that means I give him a tremendous amount of my like loyalty. There's a lot of places that I just don't go because Aries can't go, and I don't like to leave him. You know, I haven't flown since I've had Aries because he could fly, but there's a lot more to it, and I would rather not go if he can't go. And that's just because he's my long term. A vacation is short term. He's my long term, and I would rather make sure he can stay with me. So it's just one of those things. Like when you decide, like, let's say if Cancer has, like, let's say people at work that are bugging them, but those are just people that they work with for 2 days out of the week. And those people might not even stay at the company for very long. So why give them so much space in our head and our heart? Whereas we go home and we have a partner who's a person that we picked, to like live with, stay with, love. Why give that one annoying person at work so much time in our head? Doesn't our actual partner that we like and love, shouldn't they get more attention? So it's like just spending more of our attentiveness on the people that actually matter to us. And I think it's really common, because I know I've been guilty of this, to focus on something that's like a thorn in our side. A small, insignificant irritation becomes a focal point of our life and not the people that we love most. So kind of a great message on that, great reminder. So big topic here for the month of September is it's a month of new opportunities, new offers, new beginnings. We got an Ace of Pentacles. Something big could come in for Cancer this month. It could be new job, new business, new something. Ooh, Tower and the Ten of Cups in the reverse. So I know everybody hates a Tower. I love it because it talks about the change that needed to happen to free stuff up. This could be, I know it looks like, oh my God, but what happened to my happiness? How come my happiness went away? It's being replaced by something better. This is one of those things where I'm famous for this. If there is like, I get very attached to my vehicles. I keep my vehicles a really long time, and they have to die on me. I don't give up on them. They have to give up on me. And I'm not saying this is wise. I'm just saying this is the way I've always operated. And I know that I have one of my favorite vehicles I've ever owned is, coming into probably his last year with me. And it's like, oh, I'm going to be so sad. But also when that does happen, that's when I'll have to go ahead and I'll have to get it, introduced to a different vehicle. And you know what? That vehicle will undoubtedly be newer than the one that I'm driving. It will undoubtedly be, more peppy or something like that. So I know it'll be a good change, but it'll still be like, oh, but I don't want to let go of this one. I really love this one. And I just feel like that's maybe the way to look at this. We get attached to things that it's like, this is what I know and this made me happy. Why does it have to go away? And it's like, but you do know that it's going to be replaced by something even better. This could be somebody about to become an empty nester. And it's like, no, I don't want my kiddo to move away to go to college. And it's like, but it's going to be great because the relationship is going to change between Cancer and their adult kid. Now it's going to be, like we're contemporaries instead of I have to, be watching them like they're children anymore. They're adults now. Like things change and it can be good, but it does come with a loss of the previous relationship, but it's being replaced by a different version of a relationship. Nothing here looks like, oh my God, this is a devastating loss, because it's simply change. But there is definitely some emotional situation that is shifting, but it's going to be replaced by something else. This could also be a relationship winds up collapsing, and it could be like, sometimes we have a big argument with somebody that we loved, and it could be significant enough to where it's like, wow, I spent so much time with that person. This could be a sibling. This could be somebody that we love so much, but we're not going to be around them anymore. But you know what? Look, there's all kinds of collapses that occur in family members and stuff like that, and people that we love because of differing opinions and such. However, sometimes when we're no longer spending as much time with certain people in our life, it allows us to spend that time with somebody new. And maybe it's like, maybe this was keeping Cancer single, and it's better that they're not hanging out all the time with their extended family because they're finally single and now they can go out and meet a lover. You know, there's a lot of different things that show up in this that say this is a good change, even though it is a collapse. All right. And let me go ahead and just get something about love. Wheel of Fortune. It is damn time for a fine, good time. Queen of Swords. And Cancer knows this. This, whatever is changing in Cancer's life, I feel like directly impacts their ability to have a wonderful love life. This is high time that Cancer meets somebody. There could be possibly an Aquarius, a Scorpio, a Leo, or a Taurus on the horizon. But it's almost like Cancer's like, I know it's time. And I know that I needed to have either like some peace and calm in my life. I know my life had to change. You see the butterfly wings. It's not a shocker that these things have needed to shift before I could actually have success in love. I don't know what Cancer's been doing, but I feel like they've been either working too hard, not having time for romance, not being able to get involved with love. It's just now that this can happen. Actually, let me pull one or two more on that. Pisces. Somebody that they'll share the same dream with. Somebody that they can pursue their own dreams with. I never care about genders. Bear that in mind. I don't read for genders. I read for energy flow. But here we just happen to have two divine feminines on this Pisces card. All of my stories can always be same sex or reverse gender roles. So just bear that in mind. But we definitely have the potential for Cancer to actually like bond to somebody that is possibly a fellow water sign, somebody that's very like emotionally drawn to them and vice versa. But it's like, wow, I'm only just now ready to meet somebody that is more like me because I'm only just now able to give attention to my real dreams and what I really want. I keep feeling like this has been a very busy Cancer who didn't have time for themselves. Something about the calm and peace in their life that they needed to get to before they were going to be able to have a real relationship for themselves. I think that this is maybe a Cancer that I get the strong vibe that they've been giving so much of themselves to other people that their own private love life was like very much on the back burner for the longest time. And finally, it's not going to be. It could be somewhere near that full moon that they actually wind up having an opportunity to like pursue romance. All right. And final message here for the month of September. We've got the Knight of Coins. This says all of these changes have been a long time coming. We see, Pisces Cancer has come through the rainbow bridge, but they have laid all of these dominoes in line, one after another, after another, after another, and gotten to this point where finally I think that they're going to be realizing that they've always been on their life path. But I think, certain times in our life, we get onto like a flat plateau and it seems like nothing is changing. Like if you've ever driven like all through the state of California or all across the like Nevada desert, there's like 7 hours where there's nothing. And if it's really flat, you're not even sure you're moving anymore because the landscape hasn't changed in hours. But in fact, you are. Sometimes you go across a desert in life and it's just this plateau, but in truth, you were always still moving forward. And I feel like this is the month where it's this realization that, oh, wow, I've come a long way. A lot of things I've never stopped working toward my real life goals. I'm actually on my life path, even though I was on a plateau for a period of time. I was always still moving forward. I think that there's going to be, this could be a month where if Cancer like takes a look at their little piggy bank or their savings account, they could realize, oh, wow, I've actually been saving quite a lot every month consistently. I'm doing way better than I thought. Or if this is like taking a look at how far they've come on some goal, something that was like measurable, they will see that they've done well. Or somebody who's been slowly but surely, chipping away every single day on some, meditation or some program or reading some self-help book. It's like, wow, I'm actually almost done with this. It seemed like it was such a thick book, I'd never get through it. But look at me now. This is one of those months where change has actually been happening all this time for Cancer, but now there's this awareness of just how much has been going on. So it's definitely like a harvest month for sure. All right. And don't forget, Cancer, you'll want to check out the very beginning of this video. And thanks for giving it a thumbs up and subscribing. Really appreciate you guys. And last but not least, Leo, here we go, coming in at 22809. All right, Leos. Let's get to this, shall we? Leo, what is the first off, the big message? And Leo, I do want to encourage you guys, check out the very beginning of this video, the intro. I'm going to be doing a giveaway. I'll pick 9 winners. That'll happen on the 1st. And I explained to you guys about that and how to enter. So don't miss the very beginning of this video. It's really important if you want to enter, okay? This is for the month of September, kind of the big ticket items. We have gum. Stick to your standards. Leo, I feel like Leo made good decisions already on some topics. And this says if Leo made a choice already, it was probably because they had gathered the facts, they had formulated an opinion, and they laid out, this is what I want, this is what I don't want, this is how it needs to be. I don't think that Leo needs to back down, is what it says. Like, if this is about, say, Leo ended something with someone, maybe they did that for a very valid reason. This is like, don't go backwards and unbelieve in your belief systems or settle for things that you already said, I'm not going to settle for that. Why would I accept less? That's not okay. This just says Leo might be tempted to undo a really good decision that they made. And it just says, don't undo your decision. Not if it was already made off of, facts and Leo's real heart. Okay, we have a 2 of Swords. This is a month of Leo blocking things. Leo already, called it. Leo already said, I don't want this. My head doesn't want it. My heart doesn't want it. I don't need to take stuff back that I already said no. 5 of Swords. 5 of Coins. Sorry, but it just keeps looking like somebody or something is going to come knocking at Leo's door, and Leo's going to have to say, I already told you no thank you. Nope, I don't want to fight with you anymore. Somebody's going to reach out to Leo. This could be a lover. This could be an ex. This could be somebody who wants to, they may come in with the exact same old energy. So sorry, Leo. I wish that September, was starting out with this much, more flashy, grand, lovely energy. But instead, it's like a boundary is going to be tested. And this could be a boundary in a couple different ways. If the big message is Leo's like, nope, I still said hell no. And the answer is still hell no. This could be that somebody either writes to Leo, enters into Leo's world, and they haven't changed a bit. This might be someone who is like, Leo could be flabbergasted. Like, sometimes we always go, oh, these stories where exes come back. And of course they're changed. Otherwise it wouldn't come back the same, right? Sometimes they're just the same and they still want the candy and they don't want to give anything, but they want the yummy candy. Leo is delicious. They want another run with Leo, but they're not any different. Leo's like, I already told you, no, you can't have the candy. You're not coming in and, thinking that you can start arguments with me or be disrespectful. I said, no, it is a disappointing thing. And it could be that Leo is like, if somebody is still arguing that they deserve stuff that they really aren't entitled to, Leo might have to give somebody another dose of like some tough love. And this can be very costly for Leo because it can be really disappointing to have to, or like energy intensive to have to keep boundaries up. And I might be like, God, I feel so depleted. But it might be because somebody keeps trying to come in with the same energy, start the same arguments. And it's like, God, this is freaking draining. I'm so sorry, but it's not always a bad thing to be able to see. That's why something is energetically draining. It's because they keep pushing boundaries. They keep wanting what they want. And I have to keep, saying nope. Look, training my dog Aries on some of his herding instincts. He's got a strong prey drive. He's a herding dog. And so he wants to still herd the sliding glass door. I cannot have him do that. He cannot bite the sliding glass door and the aluminum frame around it. He will break a tooth. I cannot let him do that. It's the only really bad thing he does. And he loves it. That sliding door, he wants to control it. It is very tedious to have to, but it's a routine of my life now. I cannot go out the door until, and now all I have to do is I touch his little collar and I say, we don't bite the door. And as long as my hand is on his collar, I don't pull, I don't restrain. I just have to, that's his reminder is like, oh, mommy says Aries neck can't go over there and bite the door. He knows that when I remind him, and I barely have to touch him, but that's what I have to do every time. It's a little tedious, but we had to work on impulse control, and that has been the way we trained him. And it's wild that it works, but it also means I can't open the damn door unless my hand is on Mr. Aries' little collar. Just a finger, one finger, and I just touch it, and that's it. And then he won't bite it. My finger's off and he bites the door. And I'm like, I don't know if I'm trained or if he's trained, but that's tedious, right? However, it's necessary. Training people how to treat us or training dogs not to bite doors, that's a necessary thing. However, we see a breakthrough for Leo also. Now, in this storyline, I don't know that Leo will ever be able to like tell somebody, no, you may not treat me like this. Come back when you don't do that anymore. I kind of think this is the turning point where Leo just maybe will understand and be reminded as to why they put up a boundary with somebody, because, hey, this is the same behavior that they're displaying. It is exhausting, but this is my turning point. I'm actually not going to like entertain this person again. Now I jump in a new direction. Now I manifest something different for myself. And I really think that this is Leo turning things around. This is Leo actually getting free of, having to go through this song and dance with somebody, because I kind of think that Leo is recognizing, okay, they did test my boundaries again, but you know what? It reinforced for me why I have those boundaries and why I'm not going to deal with this person anymore. I feel like Leo is finally free of an ex. And we're not about love yet. This is just about like the big ticket item, but I feel like Leo is finally free of the same song and dance. I think that this is finally it. I don't even think Leo is going to allow somebody to pop back into their life anymore. Okay, let's just look at love. Four of Pentacles, High Priestess. Someone's been in the wings. Somebody who is not coming toward Leo yet. Somebody that Leo knows is out there who has not stepped toward Leo, but I don't think Leo was ready for this person to step toward them yet. And I think Leo is aware I've been the blockage. And I kind of think it's related to what we were talking about at the beginning. If Leo needed to one more time address something with someone who kept testing boundaries, and Leo had to finally be done. I'm done. I won't deal with somebody who does this anymore. I'm thinking that seeps into this. Leo is recognizing, because I hadn't made that firm a decision in my own self, I have been not really opening myself up to a love story, somebody who might be attracted to me. I've still been giving off the vibes that maybe I've still been dealing emotionally with someone else. They're certainly reading me. They're reading my energy that I haven't really welcomed them in yet. I think it's a very subtle energy, but I think Leo is recognizing I maybe have kept lovers at bay. In particular, one person who's kind of been waiting for me to give them a sign that I'm available, and I haven't done that yet. We have the Gemini energy. Remember, the Gemini energy is the twins energy. I'm feeling like Leo recognizes someone's been waiting for me. And I would have been the same way. I know exactly what they thought. They could tell I was still secretly distracted. I wasn't really ready for them yet. They've been waiting because this is going to be serious. And they didn't want to come in when I wasn't open to it yet, because it's going to be a Four of Wands. It's honestly, this is like perfect timing. This is perfect timing. The month of September, Leo finally, I'm going to say, cuts an energetic cord with somebody of their past, which then allows them to recognize, this is why I couldn't bond to somebody new yet, even though I know that there is somebody who's been waiting for me just in the wings. Does Leo know who this is? They could be an earth sign. The Tower, they could be an Aries. You notice, I mean, this is strong stuff, right? Having the Tower, and we've got, endings happening in the first component of this. This is Leo opening up. Yes, Leo has known that this person was interested, but they wouldn't acknowledge it until now. Leo has been their own blockage for this potential lover to be in their life. That's what I see here. Two of Wands. Leo's just now realizing it's always been about what I want, huh? Yep. Look, we are all masters of our own life. And of course, everybody has their own free will. But somebody who has been waiting for Leo to really be done with a previous partner, and it's all been in the undercurrent, it's all been in the subconscious. That boils it down to Leo has always been the person who needed to, in their heart, their soul, their mind, until they were really clear of someone else's energy, they were not going to be able to welcome in this new lover. And this new lover has known this for a period of time. And Leo has known that this new lover knows this. This is all played out without words. This is all played out in the energetic realm. Leo is just now ready for business. In the somewhere in the month of September, they're just now genuinely ready. Is that going to work then? I hope that Leo didn't get finished with some previous person too late. Nah, whoever this is, they definitely could be an earth sign. We have Taurus energy. Taurus energy is the bull. This is like, I move forward slow and steady. I'm not taking my eye off the prize. This person has been patient, more patient than anybody I've ever seen. They wanted Leo, they'll wait for Leo. It's not too late. Leo did not get free from an ex's energy too late in the game. This is whomever this character is, they are very stubborn about what they want. They could have had like dreams of Leo also, because I'm seeing like the white buffalo woman on that. So definitely there could be an energy where it's like, oh no, this person they've known Leo is like meant for them. And last but not least, with the Three of Swords, Leo, I feel like, look, sometimes our choices do break other people's hearts. And I hate to say it this way, but that Leo's not responsible for other people's unhappiness, that Leo will not allow them in based off of their behavior. And I think Leo making decisions this month, maybe it's been hard for Leo to, like really terminate other relationships and like absolutely put in like the, like no more, I'm not dealing with you anymore. You can't call me anymore. You can't text me anymore. We're actually done. I'm moving on. Because it's like that person is going to feel pain, and Leo didn't want to cause somebody pain, even though Leo's like, no, I don't want to deal with you the way you've been doing stuff. I still think that this is way more like Leo didn't want to hurt somebody's heart, which speaks, of course, highly of Leo not wanting to cause somebody else heartbreak. But to a certain extent, Leo is not responsible for how other people feel. Leo does have a right in this storyline to choose what's healthy for themselves, to choose what's peaceful for themselves. And I think this whole month has been dedicated to Leo getting to that point where they could make the energetic, cord cutting so that, and it's based off of truth. I mean, I still feel like somebody wanted to manipulate Leo into allowing them back in exactly as they were when Leo had already said, no, this doesn't work. But it's like the bond, the energetic door was somehow still open. And this is Leo finally closing it permanently. And it's like, it's going to cause that person pain. Maybe this is somebody Leo has really loved and cared about deeply and, frets about and worries about. And it's like, I don't want to hurt somebody. But on the other hand, I don't see that if Leo can't let somebody really in because of bad behavior, then why live in the limbo land of letting them still hope that someday they can have Leo back and Leo will allow them back in with the bad behavior? They don't seem to have changed much. But it looks like Leo is finally realizing, if the choice is I got to break my own heart by accepting somebody in that hasn't changed, or I have to terminate the relationship and really say goodbye to them, let them go, even though I feel sad because I don't want to hurt them, I also have a right to be peaceful. They could have changed, but they didn't. So who's being more disappointed here? I might be freaking disappointed that somebody couldn't straighten up and fly right, but I don't have to accept less than them straightening up and flying right. And I think that this is just a truth. I think this is very kind, very warm Leo who really struggled for a long time with closing a chapter with a previous lover because Leo didn't want to, basically they looked at it as like they were abandoning somebody. But the truth of it was that person wasn't willing to grow. And so it's like, I think Leo had to be allowing themselves to make that decision to close a door. I mean, this story seemed very repetitious and cohesive for the month. It seems like a very big singular message to me, whereas not every zodiac got that. But Leo, that is how it went. All right, you guys, thank you so much for being here. You guys really appreciate you. AJSRVIM, thank you for that. Yes, definitely, you guys. Make sure that you watch the very beginning of the video. You guys will want to drop your comment in the comment section, and I'm going to bounce out of here now. Because I've got to disappear. I have been on here for almost 3 hours, but I'm going to go ahead and go spend the rest of the evening with my family. But I'm glad I got a chance to hang out with you guys. Thank you so much for your lovely birthday messages. Thank you guys. And please don't forget to watch the very beginning of the video. I explain how to enter to win, and I will see you guys tomorrow. Lots of love, you guys. Bye. Bye for now, everybody. Thank you so, so much. Wait, before I go, did I see... I did. Oh my gosh. SLH, thank you, Angel. SLH just gifted 5 more memberships. I'm sorry, I saw green up at the top of the screen there. You were so kind, honey. So Sassy S, Charlotte 4C, Smarter Child 4203, Earth Vibes 6893, and Danielle Lital. You guys are now all members, and that is all courtesy of SLH. Thank you, sweetheart. That was so kind of you. Now that you guys are members, just know it means that you guys can pop into the members playlist where you will find the members videos. You'll definitely want to watch this past Monday's video. I always post a members video on Monday, and I always explain every Monday kind of how the members corner works. You guys get to vote on the trio of topics each week. Once a month, I do a 2-hour closed session just for members where we do storytellings for members. If it is your birth month and you're a member, let me know, and I do a 3-card storytelling for you. And then every week, I randomly select a member and do a storytelling for them. So, and of course, our Monday video just for members. So if you guys didn't know, now you know. And thank you again, SLH, for being so generous, honey. Thank you. All right, you guys, take care. Lots of love, everybody. Thank you so much. And guys, don't forget, comments are on for this video. Please know I will never come and try to ask you for money. If somebody does that pretending to be me, it's not me. I will never try to get you to contact me. I won't give you phone numbers to call. I won't give you links to follow. I don't do any of that. It's on a very rare occasion, if somebody's like, oh, Kate, did you get to my birthday poll yet? And I already did. That's the one time I'd be like, yeah, sweetheart, it's in this video. Here's a link to it. But that would be usually just for members because I don't usually have comments on. So it's very rare, but just know I don't sell you anything. I don't sell my readings. I never have. I've never, ever, ever sold a reading before. So if somebody comes in and tries to do that to you, that is not me. So please do not fall for any scammers, spammers, all that. Don't follow links to buy books that people are talking about. Those are all bots. Those are all fakes. Do not fall prey to that. I try so hard to keep my community safe. That's why I don't keep comments on usually. But for this, I needed comments on. All right, you guys, take care. Lots of love. Bye for now.